feel it wrapped around your soul with no control? You can't breathe when you're drowning underwater. There's so much water. I'll run, I'll hide. Darkness always clouds my mind. When I look behind, it's moving closer every time. I can't pretend that I have a strong defense. 'Cause darkness is my old friend. You get me in the end. At the end. Can you feel it wrapped around your soul with no control? You can't breathe when you're drowning underwater. There's so much water. I can't pretend that I have a strong defense. 'Cause darkness, for your friend, you get me in the end.
What's going on, folks? What's going on? What a day. Are you guys okay today? Everybody's okay today. Lots of people out there in the show already. Yes, guys. The title is of today's show. Ryan Mason, in my opinion, Ryan Mason 100% at fault today. His substitutions, unexcusable. And yes, while the players that didn't perform well today, it's overshadowed by that for me, by the substitutions today. But we're gonna get into it. There's folks here from all over the place. Some folks are up early with us here, and Yeah. But I know there's guys here that you're waiting to see. They're waiting in the back. And the guy who puts the Austin Powers and Daniel Levy's Dr. Evil, the one and only Canadian godfather of Tottenham Hotspur, Brian Daigle.
Ah, jeez, how we doing, Will?
I'm doing good.
Just,
And
do you know what, mate? I'm not even. It's gone, mate. I don't even know what to feel anymore. We all get ourselves pumped up for these finals and think, yes, this is going to be it. This is going to be it. We put all our faith, all our hopes, all our dreams and aspirations into these clowns, just to have what we know is coming, and now it just don't even hurt anymore.
yeah, no, but I mean, look what we've done to Brian Daigle. The Brian Daigle is speechless.
Trust me. When we get into this, I came to a startling revelation today and realised something. But I'll go into that a bit later when we got a few people in the house just to share this thought.
Sounds good. We've also got New England's biggest Spurs fan, Brazil's biggest Spurs fan, the hype man himself. Marcelo, what's going on, fella?
No hype today, Will. No hype today, man. Unfortunately, Spurs kill. It's so typical Spurs. Honestly, out of all the seasons, and I don't know if you agree with me, Brian, this has been the Spursiest season I've ever witnessed. We went from top of the league, looking like we could even do the fucking quadruple, right? Looking like unbeatable, beating Man United 6-1, getting through the Europa group stage comfortably, getting to the League Cup final comfortably, just everything going our way. And then all by December, reality just drops. And then you're like, what just happened? Like, I just realized we were top of the league only 2 months ago. Only 2 or 3 months ago.
Yep.
It's just like, I just realized in 3 months, we went from top of the league to maybe winning 4 different trophies to sacking a manager, not winning a single fucking trophy, and not even finishing top 4.
And the ESL.
Yeah.
See, Marcelo's cracked as well. What can you say?
It's just like I'm just numb to it at this point.
The biggest letdown of the night for me is, not so much the loss of the 8-hour stream, but we don't get to reveal the identity of the illustrious Mr. K.
Hi guys, what a day!
What a day!
You know what? I have yet to see the majority of the match. I had a job interview. I was in the pre-show just before the game started. Then I delayed my interview as much as I could, and then I had to run off to it. And I come back, and I get the tail end of the game. I think the last 7 minutes, right? And I've gone through the post analysis. I've already looked at the formations. I've already looked and briefed myself up on how it was done, because I've got other channels which I kind of review, make it easy for you. What happened in the game tactically. That's my gist on it. The politics, I'm leaving for you guys. Honestly, I've given up. Forget everything else. It's all Levy. It's all Enoch. Forget blaming managers. Forget blaming players. Forget blaming scouts, coaches. The problem is in the core. We held out for the team. All of us believed we could win this. All of us believed it in our hearts. And the more you watched it throughout the game, you saw them defend time and again. And you doubted Dyer. How many times did that man put a leg in?
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, had a great game today.
Okay, you doubted Aurea. How many tackles did he put in today?
Oh, he was pretty shocking, in my opinion.
No,
he was pretty shit.
He was
just
okay
tried to play on-
defensively up until the end of the match, but
Yeah, in the
point
first
is
half,
that-
Mr. K. In the first half, I just have to say, Raheem Sterling had
Ditto.
Aurier all over.
Round him. He ran round him all the time. If it wasn't for Dyer and
Yep.
Toby in the middle. But that was the point, that they were always going to get round. The way they were set up 4-4-2 against our 4-3-3,
Fuck
you're
knows what we played.
you're automatically giving them width. You got two players on either side against your what? They're already around you. That's not the point. The strength was in the middle, and our centre backs held firm, right? It was Sissoko not tracking back fast enough against Laporte, and if he held his position and just jumped up in the air, his head or his face would have hit the ball. But instead,
That's how bad
he
it's
saw
come.
Laporte. He saw Laporte in the back of his eye, right? Already make a run on him, and the guy hypnotized himself to move out of the position where the ball was going to end up being.
But before we get too far into the weeds, Mr. K, hold that rant right there for just a second. I've
And I
got
have
to
something
bring in the
also.
man.
A rant.
I'm sure everybody does tonight. It's gonna be a good show. But I'm sure we have another guy that's waiting in the back here, whose last name is the land full of O'Briens. Brian Ireland himself.
My boy.
Big
What's
up,
going
Brian.
on?
Oh, you know, I'm with everybody here. It's really, really difficult trying to find any kind of semblance of any kind of joy out of this situation. It was really difficult day. But you know what we did? We made it a good day because we were all dealing with it together. But if we didn't have each other, I don't know what would have happened. It would have been fucking ugly. It would have been ugly. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here, guys. I'm happy to be here with you. I don't know how long I'll last because I don't last long in these situations. But I saw you guys. I got the fucking link, and I was like, you know what? I need a little bit of love. So thanks for
Hopefully we
having
have some love today. And for the people watching in the chat here, if you're new to the show, I see some first time names in the chat. If you're new to the show and you'd like to come on, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. If you happen to be one of the gentlemen that Tommy had on his stream, go ahead and click that link pinned to the top of the chat. Let's try to make sure that we have decent audio in order. That's really the best part. Especially when this gets rolling here in about 5 to 10 minutes and there's 10 guys on the panel. Having a decent amount of audio, like a quality, you know, either cell phone or headphone mic really helps us to be able to talk with each other.
function.
Yeah.
So
Cameras are not required on this show.
Mr. K.
Yeah, like Mr. K, you can throw those you know, just edit whatever picture you want for yourself on your screen, or no picture at all is also fine. I think it defaults to whatever your YouTube photo is. But yeah, hit that link. All right, let the rants begin.
So yeah, I'm going to say what I wanted to say now. And Marcelo brought me into it when he said about how Spursy of a year this has been, and then Mr. K kind of brought it in when he mentioned my favourite person in the world, Mr. Levy. So I was thinking about this about an hour ago. I was like, do you know what? I'm lucky enough to have had my grandfather on both sides of I didn't get to meet my dad's dad, but my dad told me about stories about when his dad used to watch Spurs, and my grandpa told me about the 60s and the double winning team and the push and run, and the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s with my dad winning this shit. I've seen all my friends growing up winning trophies for their teams, Manchester United, the Filth, Chelsea, all this. And I just started thinking to myself, do you know what? Please God, I'm lucky enough to have children, or please God, when I get to speak to my nephews about Tottenham, what am I going to have to tell them? That we've got a bar that builds a beer from the bottom, that we have a skywalk, that we have seats that can charge their phones.
It's impressive.
It's like, what the hell? That's what it's come down to.
Really
My dad can tell me about like the Ricky Villa goal from 1981 or Glenn Hoddle great goals. My grandpa told me about Terry Dyson and Jimmy Greaves.
The cheese room. We had a cheese room that didn't even happen in the end.
Exactly. We have we have the H Club where you can spend 15 grand a season and look at them through a glass tunnel.
We can watch all these wanks who are terrible through a glass.
We have
tunnel.
two. We have two pitches. We have two pitches.
We do.
We have more pitches than fucking trophies we've won under Levy.
Yep.
How does that make sense?
We have more stadiums than trophies we won.
Yeah. And we've also
For
got
fuck's
Mr. Yunez in the show from
Well,
Canada
I think
as
we're
well.
going to crack up today.
What's up,
Nah,
Eunice?
I'm,
What's up,
like
Eunice?
I got a random myself, Brian. But that's brilliant. I mean, it's for real, man. You know what I mean? Like honestly, under this Enoch era, right? So, I spoke with Stelios, and by the way, Stelios I think is a great guy. I think he has some great opinions. But I went and also, you know, I was wondering, like, what was it like under Enoch before? Well, before Enoch, because I've been under Enoch as shit. But you know, it was funny because we used to be at one point FA Cup record holders.
Yep.
Right.
Before the Premier League
And
started,
even,
yeah.
before the Premier League started, and even when we were like in the 90s, we won an FA Cup when we were basically bankrupt.
Yep.
Under Enoch, we have yet to even reach an FA Cup final.
Yep.
We used to be
We've also got
known.
Mr. Abdul
Actually, so I was
Kareem
doing a
in the
little
house.
bit digging.
Stop
and
asking.
I tweeted this out.
We're a
I
mess.
tweeted-
And
Marcelo.
Mr. Alex Burton.
Oh, am I,
2 spots left, folks.
Oh.
2 spots left.
am I lagging?
Want to become famous? Buy followers and viewers on this. Get out of here with that noise, you fool.
What? That's ridiculous.
Why can't I ban this guy?
I don't know. Who's this guy? Want to become famous?
I don't know. Let me switch on to my other window here.
Oh, you-
Somebody already took care of it. That's why.
I know this is THFC Rant.
Way to go, moderators. You guys are on top of it.
I don't have a rant. I don't have enough energy for a rant. I'm just an utter disappointment with the situation that we're in as a club.
Oh, he's on Twitch. That's why.
Oh,
That's
there
the
you
thing,
go.
Brian. The thing is, Brian.
Everyone's
I
in
don't
that
know,
to disappointment.
Disappoint. Do you know what? I've gone past disappointment. It's expected.
Yeah, that's my point. Like
It's
there was a
expected.
period of time, you know, under Pochettino when the disappointment would be like, you know what, we've done everything we could to get to this level and to be good enough to compete. We got to the Champions League final. We finished top 4 seasons in a row. It was like we're turning a corner here. We're no longer the laughing stock of football. And then we got back to becoming the laughing stock of football.
But it was good while
A
it
little
lasted.
outside of
It
We
was
normal.
got back
a
to
period
being
of-
Spurs.
we
We
had a
got
moment.
back to being the laughing stock.
We had a
A
moment.
little outside of
thing is-
normal.
We had a
I'm gonna
moment.
I
throw
was
one
gonna get to
topic. Hold
that.
up, Marcelo. I'm going to add a little outside of normal. Normally it's just a free for all. But tonight I want to start off with one topic. We'll throw one topic and I want to go around.
All right.
And it's got to be the substitutions because for me, they were criminal. And I think this is something that has to be discussed by everybody that's here right now. So let's try to keep it down to like a minute and a half, and then we'll just go into full-fledged hate. You know,
Hate train. Get on the hate train.
the rant train.
The red train. The hate train. I'll
So-
start. Failed.
All right.
Failed miserably. How do you bring on Musa Sissoko for Lo Celso? Despite Lo Celso not being great, he still had started to get into the game in that second half. And Musa Sissoko, despite the period of time that he had where we all loved him and he was great in the dressing room and all that stuff, that was a long time ago. He's dog shit now. He should not be playing. Why are we bringing him on in a game where we need offense? Offensively, he's terrible. The only time you bring him on is when you try to save something because fucking Aurier is losing the plot, and you go like, get in on the right side, make sure he doesn't lose the plot completely, and you can deal with it. And then Dele Alli comes on. What is that for? And,
No.
All right.
Bruno
Kane,
Kana,
again.
I love you, mate, but that is like an oxymoron waiting to happen.
yeah, it makes no sense.
The
Mason was,
substitutions were shambolic, but he's still class.
And
Like he
Mason-
was class as a player. I'll give that.
I wouldn't even say that. I think Mason was great as a player. He's one of our own. I'm not going to say his class though. I mean, he had a couple of good seasons, but let's be honest here. Let's be real.
I love you though, Ronak Kana.
Yeah, go and love him. Point being is the substitutions were brutal, failed miserably, getting it like so wrong. And we talked about this earlier on Tottenham Way in
I'm
regards to
telling you, bros.
That's how bad they were.
in regards to why and how and for what reason you bring on a substitution, it was completely wrong across the board, all of the above. It couldn't have been worse. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, when you make those kinds of substitution, it's like, I guess he's banking on hopefully we get into extra time and go to penalties with that whole defensive lineup. But it's like, yeah, ironical. But like, yeah, like you play the worst possible midfield trio. You have a trio of Winks, Sissoko, and Højbjerg. You're really asking nothing from them. They won't be able to string. Like, we were already struggling to get past the Man City halfway, and now you're trying to get past with that midfield trio. It's like you're already putting yourself at a disadvantage at that point. And I understand you kind of brought on Sissoko because you brought on Bale at the same time, because he just wants to say, Bale, you just stay up the pitch. We have Sissoko now to help out with the defensive side, but it's you need a balance, man. I feel like,
and they brought up the best player on the pitch for us going forward, which was Lucas Moura. Why would you take off the best player on the pitch offensively, better than Kane, better than fucking Sonny? Lucas Moura, despite all of our hatred for him in many other scenarios, today was our best open scenario where he might create something. And
maybe he was wishing for penalties. If you go to penalties, you're gonna need Kane and Son. No matter how bad
there. It was like
then Abdul Kane shouldn't have started because Kane did not have 120 minutes plus extra time.
No way. I agree.
But he needs one shot.
Then you've got to look at it. First
all he
of
needs
all,
is one shot.
The person that was saying that Mason was class and Brian saying he was great, he was neither. You don't go from Tottenham Hotspur to Hull City if you're class or great. That's for starters. Second of all, let's talk about the substitute that wasn't there. When your striker's not fully fit,
have somebody to back him up. Yeah.
Have a striker. You know what? Sign a striker like, the kind of striker that we've been looking for to back up Kane, but we don't play. This is the pathetic state of our club. Moura, hands down, was the best player on the pitch for us, hands down, and has been our best player for the last.
I'd say Hugo Lloris might take that, but
let's say outfield. Okay, let's say
I would agree. Yes, sorry, I didn't mean to totally.
Brian, you've got the claws out for me tonight, mate. Fucking hell. Bloody hell, teammates.
You Brian can't agree on everything, man. Sorry.
But yeah, no, honestly, me, Marcelo, and Will. Oh Jesus!
You have all fallen into my plan. You have all fallen into my trap. I have got.
Doesn't he look like a soulless devil? Honestly,
he is a soulless devil,
he just doesn't even look like he has any
Listen, we'll get onto that.
He's a Bond villain. He's a Bond villain.
We'll get onto that twat later. Oh Jesus, please. The worst thing is it's covering my face. That's the worst thing you're doing it there. I should move down. I should be like where Eunice is.
Up. We should line it up.
Listen, Will, Marcelo, and I were doing the watch along, and as soon as we saw Mora's number, I went, "What the fuck? What the fuck? No Tanguy. No, there's no. I don't. The substitutions were pathetic. The substitutions were a joke, as is our team at the moment. But that's another story. But
let me ask you this.
Put me on, coach. Why didn't you put me on?
Let me ask you this, Brian. Let me ask you this. And I'll ask the whole panel this.
Go on, Bo.
I'll ask the whole panel this. When was the last time we won a game with the midfield of Dele, Winks, and Sissoko?
Have we ever won a game with those three?
I'm sure
this season.
I don't think so.
This season, no.
That's what we saw in this final, by the way. In the 80th minute.
It was absurd. It's one of the most ridiculous decisions I've ever seen from a manager. That's why when somebody's like, "Don't blame the manager," I'm like, come on.
I mean, that's what I got to take that off.
The last game, I could probably
No, keep it on, Will. Keep it on.
You have to blame the manager.
Yeah, you got to blame.
You have to blame it's been a double week and a half.
He has
That's
to
why
take
the title for me was 100% at fault, because even though I disagree with the lineup, even at halftime, right, 0-0, and in the beginning of the second half, players who were out of form slightly started to look like they were getting a little bit of rhythm. First two substitutions were made at the 67th minute, and it completely deflated the entire game.
Yeah.
And you could just see it in Son's face afterwards. He was like, "We're done."
I mean, he made them in the worst time. He made them like when we were getting momentum.
It was very strange, but it was, he's 29 years old. He's never managed a football club at this level before. What would we have expected? Let's be honest. What
No, I'm
And
sorry,
Mr. K,
Ryan.
what's
what
your
do you expect, Marcelo?
Mr. K? What's your thoughts on the substitutions?
Basically, the substitutions, right? Yeah, was in a pattern that he understood, because he made a mistake with the lineup in the first place. All right. When you make a mistake in the lineup in the first place, right? Yeah, the substitutions is a desperate act. Basically, what he decides to do, right? Yeah, is kind of shore up the midfield by putting Sissoko physical presence, right, and sticking Bale on to get a wonder goal in, because he's thinking it's 67 minutes, right? It's 0-0. We can win this. So he gambled, right? Nothing pays off. They lose a goal. He gets desperate. On comes Ali.
Let me pause you real quick. Michael, you're welcome in the chat. If you spam, I will block you.
Sorry, he's dealing with what he understands, what he knows, right? So look at his lineup. He's got Winks in there, right? So what's Winks? He's exactly the same as him. Winks is the same level, right, that Ryan Mason was. They're loyal to the club. They've been brought up in the club, right? They don't have the necessary qualities that is needed to get higher, right? And they're soon going to get shipped out, right? Same thing with Ryan Mason. But in their hearts, of course, they're going to love Tottenham because they've been brought up there, you understand? So the way I look at it, that's why Winks is on, right? It's about the manager. Who does he trust, right? He trusts Dyer. He trusts Alderweireld, right? He trusts them, yeah? So then he sticks on Højbjerg in there, right, yeah? And the mistake was, right, yeah, is, it's already too late, because you should have brought Kane on, like, second half. It's 0-0 going into second half, right, yeah? That's it, bang, bring on Kane. That should have been the plan. But he didn't do that. He should have started with Bale instead of Kane. Simple as that. If he's going to go for Lo Celso instead of Tanganga.
Do you think that would have made a difference, though, Mr. K?
No,
I honestly don't think it made a difference in this game.
No, what I'm saying is, if he started off, instead of putting Lo Celso on, right, yeah, or Winks, if he brought on Tanganga, right, yeah, then the pattern could have been that you could have had Bale on instead of Kane. That's what I'm saying. Winks, I don't know. He's like, that was a waste of space. But that was him saying, I trust him. And as a manager, you got to go with who you trust. And if that's what he genuinely trusted, then he's going to play Winks. Think of it for a second. What we've been screaming out for a whole year. What a waste of space he is. Yeah? And he brings him on in the bloody final, bro. For crying out loud.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that.
He's been blind all that frigging time watching the Met games. He's a frigging fan, right? He's going to be watching every one of the frigging games firsthand. And guess what? He's been watching Mr.
K, it's because losing is acceptable at this club.
Yep.
Right, but 84 minutes. The final thing and the dagger in the back, right, yeah, for him, is he makes a mistake. He gets desperate, and he brings on Ali.
But the thing is, Mr. K, hold on a second.
It would kick someone. Get a penalty or something. You can do that shit.
But the thing is, Mr. K, I do blame Ryan Mason, but I also blame these players. I think this squad is gone. I think we need to reset this whole squad. I think, honestly, this squad has an inferiority complex. They come into this final thinking they don't belong there. Same thing with the Champions League final. Same thing with the last League Cup final. Even in the semifinals, every time we get to the big stage, they just feel like they just crumble. They feel like they don't belong. Even Kane wasn't playing like Kane usually does. Even Sonny doesn't play how usually Sonny does. Nobody playing with confidence. Højbjerg,
no belief in the squad. There's no belief in the squad.
Højbjerg having a shot and not taking it. Like, the issue is also just as a manager problem that game, but also a mentality problem. This squad needs to go. As good as this squad was, as good as Harry Kane and Son is, I honestly think it's time for a rebuild. Complete rebuild. Time to just get new fresh faces that are just ready to take on this challenge of ending our curse.
So with you saying that, Marcelo, I've got a question for the panel. Now, I said this on Tottenham away, and I stand by everything I'm about to say. You know that saying when they say no player is bigger than the club? Harry Kane is now bigger than Tottenham. And the reason I say that is because that's two finals where he's come back from injuries, and 2 finals, it doesn't matter how fit he is or how unfit he is, he goes in. It doesn't matter. Would it be better to have him on the second half, just in case it goes into extra time, just in case it goes into penalties? It's come to the point where he is now bigger than the club, because it doesn't. If he says he's fit, bang, I go in. Forget everyone else at the club. Forget playing Vinicius, who would have been fit. Harry Kane is now, based on that statement, is bigger than Tottenham Hotspur.
Because Levy is making him bigger. Because Levy is a coward.
I actually
Levy is a coward.
I actually don't disagree with you completely, Brian. I disagree with the fact that he wasn't fit. I just think our team
wasn't match fit.
Yeah, maybe, but like he barely saw the ball. Like the team was not fit enough to play against this good of a team.
So
like,
you bring them on when they're tired.
Yeah, maybe, but who plays in Harry Kane's place? What's the
Carabao, Vinicius?
Yeah, maybe
like Manchester City.
Maybe,
honest, I don't
maybe,
think
but you got a new manager, right? You got a manager who's like 29 years old. It's the second game, which is the problem in the first place. Let's be honest. Like you shouldn't have done that in the first place. I just don't think any of it would have come to good fruition in any way. It was a complete disaster waiting to happen. But I agree. I see what you're saying, Brian. I do recognize the fact that I think we should consider not like if we're going to rebuild, we shouldn't rebuild around Kane at this point. And I think maybe that's part of what you're saying is like as much as we all want Kane to be there, we love Kane. Do we rebuild around a guy who's 28 years old, who's probably not going to be happy with not winning anything anymore? Maybe it's time to move on. Maybe we sell him for 100 and whatever million we can get for him, and we have money to spend, right? Like maybe that's the situation. Despite us all not wanting it to be reality, it's probably the reality.
Enoch will set up as soon as they get that money and keep it for themselves.
And I mean, I was on the stream today with Marcel and Brian, and as soon as they held up that subboard, what did I say? No. I mean, instantly once I saw the numbers on the screen.
Saw the 27.
And Marcel was like, they're taking off Lucas. I was like, no. The match is over.
Yep,
we called it. We literally called it. We literally said.
I don't get how Ryan Mason didn't see that. And again, is it because he's a yes man? Is that the reality we're living in, which maybe is likely the case?
I still stand by what I said on Tottenham away and what Will said. I think Will's got an absolute. I think it was Will. It may have been Marcelo that was bang on it, but I don't think they were Mason subs. Was it you, Will?
He's got earpiece in his ear, and Levy's giving him directions on what he should say.
Maybe I don't know about that, but I mean, we can all speculate that stuff.
You look at it. Ryan Mason is a footballer.
Telling my secrets, Will.
Ryan Mason is a footballer, and he can see who the best player of the outfield player on the pitch is for his team.
But that's the thing, Brian.
He seems to me like he might have been in panic mode. Sorry, Marcelo, but I feel like when you're in that scenario and you're 29 years old and you're trying to make decisions, and I think it's more likely that he picked players that he knew.
Welcome to the stream, that
he thought he trusted because he knew them really well. That's probably and again, really bad decision, but likely the bad decision he made rather than Levy in his ear. But either way, it was a terrible decision.
I would agree with you, Brian Ireland, but with these rumors that Mourinho is coming out with, that Pochettino coming out with, where Mourinho said, look, some of the players I played, I didn't even want to play them. It was Levy telling me that either I play them or, I go. It literally, and then Pochettino saying, look, I'm not a manager. I'm just a coach. I don't run the players. You know what I mean? Like how many managers / coaches are going to have to come out and say, look, I'm not picking these players. It's this guy right here. He's the one that's making me play them. Like how many times are we going to hear that to the point where it's just like, honestly, like now at this point, I don't even care who the manager is. I don't trust this anything that's going on at this football club. I don't trust it. I don't know what is going on.
It's fair, Marcel. I can't argue with that.
I mean, what is going on?
That's the thing. When everybody knows the chairman of your club, you know that he's doing a bad job. Because usually with these well-run clubs, these chairmen are usually behind the scenes. And you never hear anything about them. But for some reason, Daniel Levy, his positions, he seems a lot more powerful than other chairmen. A lot more influence. And he has his hands all over
He owns 30% of the club. That's a big part of it. He's not just a chairman. He's not just
You
on
don't
the
have
board.
to be the chairman though.
He
You can
owns
still
30% of the
be
club.
an owner. You can still own equity and get kicked off the board.
You can, but it's a lot harder. Would you not agree?
It depends on the structure of the board and how it's set up with votes.
But let's look at the
Yeah, but
relationship
look at the
between him and the
politics.
owner. Between him and the owner, the owner has said, "Hey, you can own 30% of the club, and you get to do whatever you want because I trust you," which is seemingly what we've seen. Now, I'm not saying that's 100% the case, but it's likely the case. It seems to me like
Do you think it's sweat equity and not cash equity?
Yeah, probably. I think he's been given free reign a little bit. Like, here you go, do what you can with it, and he's done really well financially for the club for many years. So
I mean, he could be a senior like financial. He could be the CFO for the club instead of the chairman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, could be.
He could still do the financial role without being involved in the day-to-day operations of the club.
I know, but I think Lewis has given him the reign. He's kind of gone, you know what?
He needs to pull that back.
If I let you do this, I don't have to worry about it. And for a long time, seemingly, he did a really good job, or at least that was the sort of perception of it from a board level, from a financial level. You've just made us a ton of money. We're now the 10th richest club in the world. We've got a new stadium. We've got a new training ground. You're doing everything right. And at some point, which is what we're seeing now, I think, is that's failing now. He can no longer live off of that. And hopefully, you know, I doubt it, but the owner might say like, now is the time to make a different decision.
Do you know what wouldn't surprise me, actually, Marcelo, is if you check the Tottenham Hotspur shop tomorrow, that Carabao Cup mug will change to Carabao Cup runners-up. And we'll start selling that runners-up mugs.
Probably wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
That's what's
This is who I agree with right here. I don't think if that Deadwood stays
exactly
and Levy stays, I agree with this comment 1000%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really doesn't.
I agree too.
Levy, honestly, the only person that should become manager is honestly Levy. Just become manager. You want to so badly, just fucking do it. Just go. Like I'm done.
As I said in Tommy's comments on the stream that he was on just recently, listen, the rest of the season, the remaining home games, I don't give a fuck what goes on inside the pitch. I care what goes on outside the stadium, and hoping that thousands upon thousands of people go there and represent the fans and Tottenham Hotspur, the diehard fans, whether they're obviously people like us on the other side of the pond that can't get there, or anywhere else where Spurs fans are. All that matters are the thousands, please God, that get to the Sheffield United game and the remaining home games and make their voices heard, because it's a start. And stop buying stuff from the Spurs shop and putting yourself in pictures next to Ben.
Brian, you're right. Brian, there's a comment from John Fitzpatrick, Will, that I think should be commented on in this moment. Saying Enoch out and getting Enoch out is two different things. It's not going to happen in this climate. And what's the point?
I just think I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just don't think to add this in here. I don't think you need to get Enoch out as the ownership group. You need to get Daniel Levy off the board.
The power structure needs to change, essentially.
Right, a new board. I agree with the trust that a new executive board needs to be elected. That there needs to be fan representation on that board that has a vote. Right, there's a way that ownership's, like even for my company, the way that the board is structured.
There's one way to do it.
It's not based on equity percentage. It's just strictly one person, one vote. And so it's set that way so that you have to convince everyone, or you have to convince a majority of the people that are involved in the company, regardless of the equity share, whether it's 50% or 10%, to be on board with your decision.
Well, it's quite simple. The solution's quite there, if you're willing to hear. Basically, right, yeah, Levy has 30% of the share. Simple as that, right? If he steps down as chairman, right, yeah, right, and sells part of his share to the fan groups out there, right?
You don't have to sell equity in order to be on the board. You can have non-equity owning board members.
Enoch stays as the owner, right? Levy still has a share of the club. He's built a big stadium, right? Mm-hmm. And the structure, as Brian Island said, is what needs to be formulated, right? So if you have a football structure where you have a person that's in charge of footballing matters, like a football director, right? And then you have somebody on the other side, which is part of the business, image rights, properties and all that type of stuff, revenue that way, then you have underneath them how the club develops. So that individual person, the director of football, and that person that's in charge of, the business side, they run their own independent departments. And what we're missing right here is a new philosophy for the structure of how we kind of like bring players in, from where, develop them in how, or by whom, to fulfill this lovely stadium that we have and fill this trophy case. The way to do it is to have an identity, a philosophy of a club. What is the Tottenham way? So therefore, you've got to grab players or train players to become like that, fit them into what is the Tottenham way. To dare is to do. That means we go at teams. To dare is to dare,
Mr. K. To dare is to dare.
No, my point is this.
I just think that the
football director who then turns around and says, this is the philosophy of the actual club. This is what the fan base is based upon. Then these are the type of players and these are the type of philosophies. I will recruit a manager who will then fulfill that. And we will sit down and say, this is our 5-year vision.
So, Brian, as I was trying to...
that includes scouting, right?
A little...
So my point is this. Levy is in charge of that 3 branch right now, as well as the business. So
he's in charge of everything.
What I'm saying is, as he's acting as football director, he's also acting as the purchasing agent, and at the same time, he's also acting as the philosophy of how the club should be played in terms of choosing the manager. He acts with all 3 of those.
He's also acting like a grade A cunt.
My point is this: if Enoch is the one, if Enoch is the owner, right? He's not going to want to let go of such a lovely equity that could be worth over $2.5 billion by the time he sells it. He's going to love that. But if things go sour, then it's going to go the other way, right? Because COVID has come along and actually given us fans a little bit of power here. For example, there's not a distraction of a full 60,000 people there to distract you away from the people that are complaining, right?
There's an opportunity, Mr. K. There's an opportunity. It's just whether we take it or not. As
Levy
fans, we'll see.
is the man that needs to be pinpointed by everyone to say you are not the issue. If you love Tottenham, you say you're a fan. You are not the issue. You've done wonderful things for this club, right? But as football matters, you're clearly not qualified. You've had 20 years to prove it. I'm sorry, but if you were on like any other program, they would say you're fired. Trump will come out and say, listen, dude, you're fired after doing this on the footballing side. So just take your pride out of it and then let someone else better do the job of those 1, 2, and 3, right? Go out scouting,
let him stay on as a CFO, but he should not be the chairman or CEO of Tottenham Hotspur. He should not be in charge of
the business.
anything other than the financial side of it.
Yeah. So right now he needs to man to be put under pressure, not Enoch, but Enoch needs to feel a little bit of fire to say, hey, you know what? He is a problem, man, because the fans are saying so.
He is, Mr. K, 30% of Enoch. Like to just discount that.
No. Enoch can have words and say, listen, it might be better for the business for us to make more money.
But he's 30% ownership of Enoch. That's a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, Joe Lewis has 70%, and he doesn't stick his fingers in everybody's nose. That's what I'm saying. It's
he doesn't care, though. He doesn't care.
Right. That's what I'm saying is it doesn't matter how much equity you own. If you're not good at managing a company, you shouldn't be in charge of it.
But if you're given the opportunity to make decisions and you think you know what you're talking about and you own 30% of it and you're a fan and Joe Lewis is your boss and he goes, hey, go ahead, do what you want. That's the scenario we're in. We're in a scenario where
yes, Christopher Gale.
Levy gets to basically do what he wants. It's a play toy for him with an ownership who doesn't give a fuck about the club at all. And he's going, all right, yeah, I trust you. You're going to get it done. And so far, he has good reason to because he's made him a shit ton of money.
But that's what smart business people do is they surround themselves with people that can do a job.
Of course, and I'm agreeing with that.
And out of it.
And that's the point. He's still making the club money.
That image counts. Image counts. To the rich, it counts. They're already they signed up this deal to go with the European thing. They got to everyone.
You're up for it.
Right? They said that. Blatantly, they put a middle finger to everybody. Everybody else has apologized for this guy. Think about it for a second. Right? Now, image is important. They still had to pull out. Think about it. They had no choice. They were thinking, oh my days, I can't believe our dreams have come true. We've hit the jackpot. Oh my days, 350 million as a basic. Oh my days, I'm so happy. I can't believe it. My pot of gold has arrived. And then everyone gave him the middle finger and said, no, you can't do this. You think you got power because you've got ownership. But guess what? We're the fans. We are the club. Without us, you ain't nothing, bruv. 180 million around the world. Are you having a laugh? And the ones who have the most influence are the 3 million that own this island.
And now we may have to pay 150 million euros to get out of it.
My point is this, right?
Superb businessman. He is. He's a superb businessman.
But now is the time for image to count.
And speaking of business,
if other fans, not just our fans, are calling for Levy to be taken out and for ENIC out as a hashtag, other fans, not just our fans. If right now is the only time in history I've ever seen fans agree with Aguna on my face, man. I don't know what's happened in life, but this is what's happened now. I've agreed with Gunas recently. Think about that for a second, how long we've been to Spurs fans. And how many times we honestly, sincerely, with our heart, openly, agreed with someone from Arsenal. Come on. If you live in London, like I do, think about it. And Hammers fans too. And they're right now, they're shredding me. But anyway, I'll leave the floor for someone else. My point is
Will, you should put up put up a comment by Wall Street Hotspur. Levy is not dumb. If the club performance continues to get worse, he will spend to make money better or to make them better.
Have you been on a while? Honestly, what is this?
That's why I brought it up. That's why.
Have you been on? Hold on a second. No. Where the fuck have you been this last 20 years? Please tell me.
Where? Hold on.
Let's hear him out. Let's hear him out,
Marcel. But let's not try to slate the guests.
I thought it was an interesting comment.
Attack the argument, not the person.
I am attacking the argument, but honestly, bro, have you been like, what in 20 years? Can you tell me that Levy will spend to bring us trophies? He hasn't done it in 20 years.
Marcel, can I argue this point from his perspective? And I'm not saying I agree with it, but I want to argue it from his perspective.
Argue it.
So the point is, and I think what he's trying to say is that Levy recognizes that if the club isn't valuable on the pitch and they stop making money on the pitch, then he'll recognize at some point, you know what? I have to invest on the pitch. If I don't, I will no longer make money. And so at some point that is going to become true. Now, whether
it's an exit strategy.
Yeah, whether he makes that decision at the right time or not is easily disputable. But we all know that he's a greedy motherfucker, and he's going to do whatever it benefits him. So if he gets into a scenario where, and this is where Wall Street Hotspur is spot on, I think, is that he's not dumb. If the club performance is so bad that he starts losing money, he'll do something differently so that he makes money. That's what he's saying, and that's a fair point. But
can I refute that? Can I refute that?
Yeah,
can I refute that? Can I?
Of course. But
all right. Here's my argument.
Why I
right?
explained it though, right?
No. I'm not saying I agree. You. You're playing devil's advocate. I completely get it, and I love it, Brian. I love it. But here's my response to that. He is so smart, right? He is so smart that he joined this Super League. Yep. That guy. He is so smart that he had joined the Super League and then backed out, and now we're in bigger problems financially than we've ever been before because we might have to pay 150 million. This guy cannot even read a fucking contract. That's how smart he is. This is supposed to be a businessman.
Let's stick to the conversation.
Hold on. Yeah. He is so smart, right? That instead of just spending 5 million more for Grealish, he spent 30 million on Sissoko and fucking 45 million on Sanchez. He is so smart, right? That instead of backing Pochettino and make us into a super club, which would build our brand, which would build more fan base, which would make more money. He decided not to do that. He is so smart, right? That instead of just not getting Bale, getting, Skriniar, not getting fucking Doherty and actually getting Aarons, and just getting some players of quality, we could have actually had a good season this season and actually got top 4. He's so smart that instead of doing that, he decided, let me get fucking Doherty and Rodon, and let me fucking completely ruin Jose's career. He is so smart that he says, let me not spend money to reach my objective so I cannot spend any more money. That is his motto.
And honestly, Marcelo, that is the point, and you've absolutely nailed it on the head, because that's the reality. We can say that if he's smart, he would do this. Well, he's not currently doing that. Based on all the things you just that's my point. Based on all the things you've just said, that's not an argument, because he's not shown that he's done that in the past. There's no evidence to suggest he's going to make a good decision. The only evidence that exists is that he's going to make a bad decision. So him doing that appropriately is a fucking fail. And I completely agree with you. I just wanted to get that out of you.
No, I'm not, and that wasn't
Marcelo,
towards you, Ireland.
I know.
That was towards
I just wanted to get it out of you because that's reality. I get it. I agree.
I'm just going to add to a few more of the. I'm going to add to a few more of the smart things that Marcelo put in. So he's so smart that he comes third in a 2-horse race. He's so smart that he's so smart that we go into the Champions League only for Chelsea to knock us out. So Spurs lose a game we weren't even playing. He's so smart that when we get second in the league and are on the brand of, on the edge of brilliance, he does nothing. He is so brilliant that he's taken us to 1 trophy in 20 years. Oh, and let's not forget an Audi Cup. He is so smart that he wants a cheese room and then says he doesn't want one. He is so smart that he has let player after player after player after player go. We have got rid of Dembele and Walker and we have not replaced them. We have spent 3 or 4 players trying to replace them, spending more money than we actually brought in for him. He is so smart, the naming rights are still waiting to go. He is so smart that he's just. But I could keep going on with this. He's so smart.
Brian, here's the bottom line. If we're gonna use the argument that he's smart because it makes him more money, then all of the other decisions he's made in the last 15 to 20 years means he's failing at that idea. Because he could have made more money by making the club more valuable, making the players that he's bought more valuable, or buying more valuable players and investing in the squad to make everything more valuable. He's failed at that across the board because he's fucking cheap and he's failed at it.
Stop. You're half right. Right. The problem with Levy, right? Yeah, he is smart on certain things when it comes to business, shrewdness, knowing your position. You know who's got the stronger position and so on. In the past, he's done that and he's done it very, very well. You know, he managed to squeeze so many millions out of certain type of players that you wouldn't even imagine. My point is this: he's also managed to build a whopping great stadium, give it Tottenham Hotspur's name. But my point is, his ego, his vanity, has unfortunately got involved with the running of the
too
club.
Deep. I agree 100%, Mr. K. He's too deep into the club.
Behind the scenes, this guy has been one of the most manipulative Brian Daigle sayings on the planet. I don't want to swear right.
Daigle saying, I'm going to have to bring out my own dictionary, Mr. K.
But hold on, I got to interject here because we're hitting like 80 plus viewers on all 3 platforms combined.
Beautiful.
We need more likes.
Like and subscribe this shit. If you're on it,
it's like last time I looked, it was like 26.
Come on, make it.
Being lazy. It's only 32 right now.
It takes like a second to click.
Remember the Amazon documentary? It was cut and edited, right? And he looked so smarmy in every shot, like he knows the camera's looking. It's a performance. He's got such a smug, shitty looking. It's like cut to perfection. The guy's got too much vanity, inside and out, right? He's been touching up the players when they come in into the team, and he says, "You're worth millions. You're the world class. I'm going to sell you for 60 million." Right? That's what he does, and he does it behind the manager's back. He gets the manager to do all the dirty work in the front, while he gets himself a molesting and a hard-on behind. That's what I think it is for him. And you can see it from his figure and all the rest of it. He wants to be viewed. The camera has to be on him. By coincidence? How many freaking chairmen do that type of shit?
Hey, Mr. K, let me interject here. Here's another brilliant Levy masterclass. So the mugs, I tried going to the Spurs shop and look for the mugs. It actually won't load. You can't buy them anymore. So instead, and I don't know, Will, if you want to share this, but instead, he went on and made a beautiful, fantastic Carabao Cup finalist T-shirt. What a
my God.
Is that real? That can't be fucking real.
That's real. This is real, buddy. This is fucking real. This is the Spurs shop right here. Yep.
How, if anybody fucking bought that, they should be ashamed of themselves as a human being.
There's actually two reviews, so 2 people did.
5 out of 0. Oh my God, that's embarrassing.
The internet is the devil.
One guy said, "Hey, great toilet paper, nice and soft."
Marcelo, why did you bring that up, man? That's so embarrassing.
That's because he's smart. That's what
I was having a bad day. You just made it fucking horrible. That's
another brilliant Levy masterclass. The Carabao Cup finalist.
Do you know what?
I made some money off of that motherfucker.
No, do you know what? if you check the Spurs shop tomorrow,
$1 billion.
if you check the unique shop tomorrow, there will be Enoch out posters available on the Spurs shop tomorrow, so you can make some money. I guarantee you.
And by the way, I'm not slandering Spurs. By the way, John Fitzpatrick said, "Marcelo, don't slander us." I'm slandering this board. I'm bringing to light how embarrassing this board makes us. We used to be a club that was known for winning trophies in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Yeah, even listen, we used to make to finals. We used to be known as a team that was actually dangerous in knockout games. Sure, we weren't always the most consistent teams, but I remember, Stelios telling me how we used to go far in European trophies, European competition, FA Cup competition, League Cup, Wyndham.
Our European history is was one of the best.
Was one of the best, and this club took it and completely ruined it and put this Spursy tag on us. This is not the club. This is the board. This is what they done to us.
Yeah,
this is the embarrassing state we're in, and you have to realize it. So I'm not slandering us, just bringing the truth.
Oh my days. Oh my days. The passion.
I don't know why. What happened?
Glory. It's not the desire. It's not there. There's no flair. There's no heart.
The big time player always goes.
We've got the best striker in a generation. He happened to go through our system, and we've got so lucky that we produced one of the best English strikers since Shearer. For crying out loud! Not some other club. Our club. My days. This is. Forget what the media have been telling us from year one when he started shooting the goals. They delayed it, but he's the best in the generation. And what has this club done to him? What has this board done to him? What has Bobby done to him?
I just think he's unlucky. He's unlucky to be Spurs to come through the team in a time where it's just a complete disaster. It's just unlucky. And if he's smart, he'll move on. If he's smart, and we'll see what happens. Or if he's lucky, because it's a really difficult time for him to move on. There's not a lot of situations where Levy will feel comfortable getting the money he thinks he deserves, and where any other team will feel they can afford it. Because
he should be playing like a Ballon d'Or this year. He should be by now.
He's the best player in Europe right now in a really bad team. Like, let's be honest about it. He's gonna likely win the golden boot and the most assists in the league.
Finalist T-shirts, Levy you T-shirts.
I'll just let Will go on because it's more fun.
Sorry, I gotta get Wayne's comments in here.
What's up, Wayne? Go. What's up, Mr. Bonner?
What's up, Wayne?
But yeah, what a shambles.
Who dropped out?
Like I said, there'll be Enoch out merchandise available in the Spurs shop soon, just so Levy can make more money.
I'm seriously thinking about opening up a store and just putting Enoch out T-shirts and center backs need man smell and just a bunch of different stuff like that.
Center backs need man smell.
I just wish I could go on the Skywalk right now and just put out the biggest Enoch out banner on top of the cockerel.
Yeah. Is there a flag at the stadium?
I mean, I love all that, but what's it going to do, right, guys? Like, we need to
turn it upside down.
We need to figure out if you're gonna do something. Like, what can you do that's going to mean something?
Well, like I said, and Will agreed with me. I said I can't remember.
Okay, hold on. I gotta stop this.
Stop pressing the fuck button, Yank.
Okay. That YANK word triggers me, especially if it's coming from someone from the UK who uses it to diminish people based on a xenophobic mentality. If you're just having fun, like if you're a friend, like if Brian were to call me a Yank in a joking manner, I wouldn't care. But I've seen you on other streams and you can be a little bit of a troll. And so I'm giving you fair enough warning. If you mean that to be funny, put an emoji after it. If you mean it to be serious, I'll ban you now.
Yeah, respect the channel, man. Don't be a prick.
Oh,
wait, did I just say prick?
Prick's fine.
Brian, prick
is okay. Yank is not. It's fine.
You've been very racist to pricks there, Brian. How dare you?
I know. That's exactly it. Don't be a prick. Just bottom line, okay? Diathy, don't be a prick.
You're wondering why Dele Alli is everybody always keeps saying, "Oh, I wonder how Dele Alli is still in this club," and everything. And I just wonder how he stays in this club. And it's all merchandising from Levy. That I guarantee you, the reason why he even played in that Carabao Cup final, Levy didn't care if we win that. The reason why he got substituted is just so people can remember. Oh, Dele Alli, yeah, he's still a player. He's still a player. And you want to know why? Can you just share this again here, Will? Just Just share this because of these Dele Alli little toys, so little kids can buy it. This is all listen, everything that is done in this football club at this point, right? It's not because of trophies. It's not because of actually winning something. It's all
Who's
merchandising.
crying right now?
It's merchandising.
Brian's crying.
I'm crying. Honestly, it's like I said to Will. Everyone needs to stop wearing anything Nike, Under Armour, or any sponsor, Puma, anything we've had since Levy was there. We need to go back to wearing every single replica kit, everything you have pre-Levy. Wear it. Don't wear anything pre-Levy when you go. Don't wear anything Levy rain-wise when you go to games. Just don't have anything to do with it.
How about not going to games, Brian? Maybe just listen, not going to games.
The worst thing about this, though, Brian, and believe me, if I had a season ticket, I'd be debating whether I'd renew it or not. But the thing is, what's going to happen now after the pandemic? People's lives.
Oh, they're all dying for it. I know. I get that.
But don't get me wrong. If it weren't for the pandemic, I would be all for it. I'd be all for it. But you can't. Us fans shouldn't be the one being suffered with this now. People are saying, should I renew my season ticket? And I probably would renew it. I'm kind of being a hypocrite here. I probably would have renewed it, but not go. But the only reason being is someday soon Levy.
You don't want to give it up, right? Because you end up screwing yourself rather than anybody else.
Because I think there's 40,000, 50,000 waiting list. So if you give that up, you're never likely to get it back in your lifetime. So I think I would keep my season ticket. I may not go, which may be cutting my nose off to spite my face.
Yeah.
But that would be another seat where merchandise ain't being sold. That's another seat that they could have filled, because soon these buffoons, these wankers, these assholes will go and crawl under the rock they belong to, and then the good times, or hopefully better times, I can assure you, better times.
Last comment on this here, and just because I'm curious, I saw you on Tommy's stream, and you were asking real questions, not in all caps.
Yeah, and Tommy was bigging up this guy as well.
Yeah, for what reason? Tommy's a mate of mine. Tommy wouldn't appreciate the way you're acting in my chat.
Tommy's cool, and this guy's acting.
So why are you doing this here? I understand that you and David have beef, right? That's fine. I'm not David. I haven't done anything to you.
Just ban him. He could be a troll sometimes. I just ban him.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just curious why. For what reason is he cool with Tommy? And back over here, telling people to like his balls and
you got dogs. And dogs are cool, and maybe act like one of them instead of being a total prick.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I mean,
just saying.
Yeah, if you're so cool, why are you
acting like a total fucking douche?
An idiot. And if that
sorry,
is that the negative contents of that word? You're gone, buddy.
Well, let me see that.
Dude, that's out of order, man. Come on.
You're gone.
Okay, so listen, prick. Listen. Wait, no. Now I'm gonna have my say, because these kind of keyboard warriors, or as I call them, pussies behind the screen, think they're big ones. Now you want to come and use the white word, like. Well, Mr. K, just give me a minute. Like Will just said, he can call me a yid. Anyone on this panel can call me a yid. They're all family to me. I know them. I like them. You have no right, no audacity, and you were a big man before saying you'll come looking for him if he comes. I'll give you my home address, both in England and Canada. Come and find me. You come to England, we'll see what happens. You come to Canada, you're barking up the wrong tree. So if you want to start using the white word, first of all, learn about it, get some respect. Come on this channel right now, show your fucking ugly face, and come and say it to my face, and we'll see what happens, mate. Give it all the big un, you pussy. And we'll see what happens. Rant over, Mr. K. Go.
When I got an opportunity when I was speaking to David from the Irish Hotspur, I've been supporting Tottenham all this time by myself, really. It's only this year I've come across like fans and I started talking to them on a regular basis about games. Otherwise, I've been surrounded by hammers for like 20 odd years, mate. My point is this, is that I asked him a valuable question because the answer I did not know. I said, why do you guys call yourselves the Yid Army? Right? And he goes to me, basically, people were hurling the word Yid in a racist way. Like, for example, as a Pakistani, I'd be called a Paki back in the day in this country. But in Australia...
Oh, you're Pakistani, Mr. K?
Yeah, I am, bro. My point is this, back in the day, in Australia, when the sports commentators were saying the word Paki for a Pakistani cricketer, they weren't using it in a derogatory fashion. But over here in England, they were. Okay? In my language, that just means pure. So it was like, so when he said that to me about the Yid, and then he goes, look, the way we reacted was we just said, you know what, you're going to call us Yids, we're going to be called the Yid Army. We're going to give it back to you and in your face.
Yeah, that's the point of it. That's why it exists the way it does.
So I said to him, I said, if that's what it means to be in the Yid Army, and I support Tottenham, and I'm with you fans, then I'm a Yid too, mate. Simple as that. Because I'm amongst family now.
Get in there, mate.
Brian, 100%. I'm not even from the same religion, you understand? But 100% is the same belief. Family.
But I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. K. This guy right here is a funny guy. He makes me laugh, and this is why we're having a show on xenophobia and racism this Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. UK time. So anybody here who's a person of color wants to come on and talk about their experiences and what they've experienced. Like he wants to call us fascist. Now I don't even think you understand what that word means, my friend.
Yeah, clearly he doesn't understand what it means. Fucking man. My goodness.
He's winding me up.
You're embarrassing yourself, mate.
I always find it funny when someone from the UK
Don't
says
let
they're
him
going to
bother
come
you, Brian.
find an American. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight, mate. Okay?
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say, bro. You don't want to fuck with Will Stewart, bro.
Block user, you're gone.
Yeah, that man telling you.
What an absolute cockwomble that guy is. Sorry.
I just didn't get why was he so kind and friendly on Tommy's channel?
Yeah, and Tommy was all, oh, this guy's great. He's back, and then
blocked him, Jason. He's gone.
He turns into this fucking complete waste of space. What a
It'll
piece
be
of
blocked
shit.
it'll be blocked on Tottenham away tomorrow as well.
Yeah, and he should be. He shouldn't be allowed to be anywhere. People like that. I mean, come on, mate. Like, what are we doing here? What are we fucking doing here? What are we doing here? We're here to fucking like try to get past like a difficult day to make people.
Yeah, and we've got people here of all races,
Everybody's from
religions,
different
faiths.
places. Yeah, like this is not
countries.
about your own bullshit. You want to be fucking a cocky fucking asshole. Get the fuck out of here, you prick. Sorry.
So Ken Oma, I agree, right? We do need to disarm him, and I did. He's been blocked, so he won't be back.
Good shout on that, Ken.
But it does need to be addressed as well, right?
Agreed.
They need to be when somebody comes out and says that, if you just block them right off the bat without saying anything, then people around who may be watching don't get to learn about how wrong and not okay that is, in my opinion.
Kind of allowing it to happen a bit,
yeah.
You know, rather than like making
call it out. You make him look like a fool. He hears it, then you block him.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
that's the way I do it.
Good show, Will. I like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just the way, you know, social media allows it, man. You know, nobody, you know, I get it. I've gotten a lot of shit from, you know, people, especially like when I start criticizing Nobele. I had some people calling me racist. Like, I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I'm fucking I'm biracial. I have family members that are literally have African heritage, and two, just because I criticize, like, I hate Winks, I hate like Dyer. I'm pretty sure they're not, you know, like.
You hate the
black.
Brits, man. You fucking hate
Marcelo, you and me need to have words. You and me need to have words, mate.
Because it's like,
no, but like, horseshit, man.
It's just like I don't get it. Like, some people just like to be keyboard warriors and, you know, just hurl names, and it's just like that's not true, man.
I hear you, mate, but what I'm saying is you got to give them some time, because you have to make it known. You got to call it out.
You know what you're doing, Will? You're giving them an opportunity to show how stupid they are.
Exactly.
Here you go. Let's everybody here who's watching go.
All 74 people.
Yeah,
that are watching on all platforms, plus the hundreds of people who watch this over the rest of the time.
Will, that's at the moment, but there could be 600 or 700 people who watch it who will see it and go, yeah, okay, that's not. You know what I mean? Like, you got to fucking say it. You got to say it properly. So I appreciate that. But yeah, it's fucking stupid. What an idiot.
Yeah.
So Wayne Bonner's got a question. May I ask about the derogatory meaning of yank? Yeah, so for me, that word here in the United States is thrown around, and we'll talk more about this on the stream on Friday. Quick, Southern people call Northern people Yankees.
Yeah.
Northern people that are not part of New England call New England people Yankees. So Marcel's a Yankee.
I'm a Yank, yeah.
And then British people call Americans Yankees. So for me, living in Korea for 13 years, it was a derogatory term used towards American soldiers, to try to kick them out of their country. It's not like the American soldiers wanted to be there in the first place, but they were there. And I know that a lot of British people use it as a derogatory term for Americans as well. So it just depends on,
especially in football.
Let me come in on that, because the reason that we, or not we as in me, but people in England call Yank is actually, sir, I'm sure all of you have heard of Cockney rhyming slang, where it comes from, like you'll hear it on Snatch, you'll hear it all that. Well, for America, for the rhyming slang, when you use the word Yank, it's septic tank Yank. That's where the British get it from. It's Cockney rhyming slang.
It's actually Dutch. It's actually Dutch name for Janky, meaning little Jan or little John. I'm reading it.
Have you just Googled that?
Yeah, of course.
I really thought you were just showing some pearls of wisdom out of nowhere. I thought you just plucked that out of the sky.
The hand there, fellas.
But
so for me, like if it's a friend or if it's somebody using it in a casual term, for me, it's all about tone that makes it derogatory.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
because honestly, like
context matters, man. Context
it doesn't hurt my feelings. Like I'm not gonna go home and cry because somebody called me a Yank, right? Like it's not gonna hurt my feelings. But if you're like, get off, you've lost your mind, you Yank. Get off you shouldn't be talking about football, you Yank. Right?
Mate,
then you're doing it from a xenophobic point of view.
My nickname growing up my whole life, because obviously I'm Jewish and my surname is Daigle, I've been called Bagel all my life. That is my nickname, and everyone that says it to me thinks they're the first person to say it to me, and I'm like, oh, you're so funny. But that's been my whole life, and I don't mind it when friends say it to me. It's not an issue at all. I go to Spurs and I scream from the top of my lungs, Yid Army. When the whole Yid Army thing was going on, the whole movement, and the police were there and they were really trying to clamp it down, I had a policeman come this close to me and go, listen, mate, if you carry on saying that, we're going to arrest you. And then I brought out all my Israeli tattoos, or my Hebrew written tattoos, and you can't really see them there. I'm not going to bend my arms around. I got it on my chest as well. I was like, what are you going to arrest me for? Being racist to myself? Okay. But that's what it comes to. And that's the thing. Like I said, when it comes to friends and family, like you said, Will, if someone calls you that and you know them, it's a bit of laugh, a bit of banter. But when it's a pussy behind a screen, it's a different matter.
Yeah, 100%. We lived a life.
No, I'm going for a cigarette. I'll be back in 2 secs.
We lived a life in football.
Yeah, so DM asked me here, what were you doing in Korea? I was stationed there at first, but then I lived there after getting married to a Korean girl for business and personal life for about 13 years. So that's what I was doing in Korea. And it's similar, right? You can call somebody a patty. You can do it in a friendly banter way, but you could also do it in a demeaning way as well. And if you're Irish or something like that, you could get offended. So I think. But go ahead, Mr. Cam. Sorry.
Oh, 1 second. Sorry. It's a relatability. I think as all football fans, the clubs have been based on working class people. It's floated up. It doesn't matter now who you are. If you love sport and you're looking for a club, and worldwide, and you come across one and it goes dear to your heart, you're a fan. And that's the one thing that unites, no matter how even derogatory next man was. It's the club itself that we all, we have a love, and that's what's connecting us together right now. That's why we're here. There's no one here for anything other than Spurs, is it?
Yeah.
There might be people that are guests, people that are friends. They might come into the chat. They're Arsenal supporters, or they could be Man United supporters. Because fans who love football can unite under football. That's the first, it's the sport as well that you love. It's not just, as much as I love Spurs, I don't support the women's team. I don't watch it. That means I don't support it. with
Agree.
the
I
men's
don't watch it either.
I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't have it, but that's, it's just not me. I sport. So it's the club itself is.
I don't watch the youth team either, to be honest. So.
I do.
So you can imagine if you supported the women's
Sometimes.
team. Imagine if you were a supporter of the women's team, you'd be watching this final of the men's. Okay? So all of us are united in that respect. And having this respect for all of the groups, the women, the men, the people from all around the world, without saying where you're from, it doesn't matter. It's the one thing that's connecting us together, which is the club itself. And then what unites us even more is the love of the sport, how the sport is played. What do we see? What makes us go, something in our hearts, the special moments, because it's live. It doesn't have breaks, unless there's a foul or, there's half time. But my point is this, it's run according to the emotions and the heart and the desire of the players on the pitch at that given time. When it comes to a final, form goes out the window. You're now playing for pride. This is a cup on the line. It's not about week in, week out, the drudge of going to Burnley or doing it against whatever in the European League. You're in the final. This is now you're playing for every fan or every group that unites this badge around the world. And if these select players that we have a core of and that we've had a core of are still here by the end of summer, come on, we the fans, we have to call it out. The pressure has to go from them, because if we can't get, we have to apply pressure everywhere to get something done. Otherwise, what are we doing every year? We start off at the beginning of the year, Levy's done his magic, and somehow he's brought in a situation, a manager or a couple of players, and he's pacified the core group of, supporters. Then he carries on doing the same shit every year. He just plays the same trick again and again and again, and he pulls the same crap out of his ass. He makes more money than he shows, and he doesn't invest. He borrows the money and puts it on the club.
All right.
Why they raised a £25 million club that he bought? Now it's worth how much? 25 million to what it's worth now. He's pulled off the amazing, bro. But at the end of the day, he's done it at the expense of the badge. He's done it for the money.
He has the money to sack the manager.
Right? He calls it love
He
of the
has
badge.
the money to sack the manager as well.
It's the ego in him that loves the people, the adulation that in the position that he's in, of his like and like, that are bound by the badge. He has that mark and recognition. He loves wielding that power, right? Heat can be done. Wenger was in such a strong position. Think about it for a second. How the Arsenal fans persisted year in, year out in order to get Wenger out. Oh my days. Remember that? Wenger. How they did it.
It's like a 5-year run to get him out.
Did the fans actually get Wenger out, or did it just run its course?
It just ran its course. No, it ran its course. But
I don't know how much it did. I think if they got him out, it would have happened sooner. I think.
I have to say, in Mr. K's defence, the only time they took notice, it did run its course, but the only time they took notice when thousands and thousands of people didn't turn up. So it was a bit
walked
of both.
out at halftime.
Yeah, it took a long time, but that's fair. Hey, you know what? I'm just throwing it out there as an idea.
But we started this year. One thing is, last year, there's very few people that were actually able to get a voice across the channels, and this became a theme. Now, this year has broken the back of every single sporting fan out there that supports Spurs, that there is an issue. The voice's message is going across. Now everyone is talking about the board, when before they never used to. They let other people do it. Now everyone's talking about it.
I said that on our stream earlier, that was changed for sure.
If we sit like this for 3 more years, I guarantee you the back of the camel will break. This is not something that can be done in over a summer or a demonstration or whatever. Levy has far too much power. The guy's so cocky and arrogant, he's not even apologized. Think about it for a second.
Let me add you something, Mr. K. It's getting to a point where, honestly, I feel like every decision we make from now on, it's purely going to be just for business and marketing. Honestly, I think Levy doesn't even care about getting top 4 anymore. I'm getting to a point where he's gonna get the Bales of the world. He's gonna get the guys.
So he thought he was gonna be in the Super League. He doesn't give a fuck about top 4.
Exactly, and this is what I mean. And even from now on, I think people thinking that now he's not in the Super League. Oh, now he wants to invest to get top 4. I really don't think so. I think he just got lucky. personally Brian Ireland. I think he got lucky. I think he got lucky with Pochettino. I think he got
Oh,
lucky with Paul
100%. I
Mitchell.
agree.
I thought
100%.
it all
100%, Marcelo.
it all came together, and he didn't. And then when he had all that all together, he didn't know what to do with it.
He got very
didn't know
lucky.
what he got very lucky, and he didn't even know what to do with it.
Yep.
He didn't even know what to do with it. He is so out of his depth. Hold on, Mr. K. I just gotta hold on. He is so out of his depth that even when all the puzzle fell to his feet all together,
Still failed.
he still failed. He has to go. Levy has to get the fuck out of this club. He has to go. It's done.
Guys, I'm gonna just quickly chime in here, Mr. K. Sorry to interrupt you, mate, but I gotta bounce. Will, thanks for having me on. Brian, Marcelo,
thanks for coming on, man.
Abdul, Mr. K,
Thanks.
Alex,
Big up.
Lockman, Shashant. You guys, a pleasure. Cheers for having me.
See you tomorrow, bro.
Have a good one,
See you
guys.
tomorrow, man. Take care.
Check out.
Yeah. But
Guys,
to answer
100%.
DM's question there, where he said, where do I watch the youth team? I occasionally watch it when the other teams stream it. Other teams do sometimes stream the youth games on their website, so I occasionally watch it there.
Guys, if you look at the stadium, the
Son, you got a little bit of fan noise, my man.
sorry, it's me or someone else?
Shashant.
Okay.
I think Abdul
I'm
wants
good.
to say something. I kind of
Go
want
ahead.
to.
I'm going to get it out very quickly, and I'm not going to get on with it. But you know the stadium itself, right? Yeah, it's going to get full one side,
Bye-bye.
right? If you have a banner being flying across,
Take
first
care,
day,
man.
it'll kick things off. Bye. Oh, let him go.
Oh, you guys want me to talk or what?
I was just wondering. I think you have something to say, right, Abdul? I just kind of want to hear you. You've been sitting quietly
Oh,
this whole
like
time.
Go,
Yeah,
go
like
on,
what I
guys.
was
You can
saying
speak out.
Yeah,
You
like
can
I was
go,
saying
guys.
before, I think Daniel Levy was extremely fortunate that all these pieces fell into his lap. I've been saying I don't give him any credit for how we've been able to pump out like the Harry Kanes of the world and the Dele Alli. I don't give him any credit for. I give most of the credit to Pochettino and our coaching staff in order to build up these players like Dele Alli's and the Christian Eriksens. And again, like I've always been saying, like Daniel Levy has always been lacking at his job. He hasn't really. Even when people talk about the business side of
He hasn't done that good of a job.
he hasn't done that good of a job. There's been so many moments where the opportunity was there. It presented itself in order to pick up steam, momentum, and take ourselves to the next level. But I mean, he just always fails to disappoint. I mean, like there's been so many moments where he could have took this team to the next level, and I just feel like he's just not been doing his job properly. Like, I mean, he's definitely not ambitious at all. His only objective is to make money, and again, you don't really need to be first place to make. It takes a lot of money to reach that pedestal and to get that first place prize. But again, making a semifinal was always his objective. Making top four was always his objective, and he just always felt like he always did the bare minimum to try and achieve those tasks. And like, I mean, like I don't rate him at all, business side or the footballing side. And I just feel like everything fell into his lap. That's pretty much what I was trying to say.
Well,
Yeah.
Aaron, you look at it, and I'm going to talk about Sugar for a bit. Now, Alan Sugar, we all know there was a huge protest to get him out, and we got him out. But Alan Sugar was in charge of Tottenham for 10 years, and Alex will be able to comment on this as well. They weren't the best footballing days. They were absolutely awful. But in those 10 years, we won 2 trophies. We were kicked out of the FA Cup and had a 12-point ban. We got put back in the FA Cup and a no-point ban, just a big fine. He built the Paxton. He built the Park Lane before the new White Hart Lane was built, obviously. He also saved us from being bankrupt. We wouldn't even have a channel right now. He brought Jurgen Klinsmann to the club. And he was wanted out and was really, really badly shoved out because he wasn't doing a good job. And that was in 10 years. This guy's had twice as long. And everyone, or now it's taken the ESL to be the straw that broke the camel's back. But people forget, yes, the football weren't bad and we were expected to be mid-table or 14th. But people forget what Sugar did. If there were no Sugar, there would be no Tottenham. And I'm sure, Alex, you were still going to Tottenham around Sugar time. Is that right?
Who?
Alex is still here, isn't he?
Yeah, Alex. You still there, mate?
I don't think he is. I think he's
He's probably doing
AFK.
something right now. Yeah, he's probably
'Cause we can't hear you, mate.
He's probably making a cup of tea.
Okay,
That's what
so,
I
but,
did, yeah.
but
I took my headphones off and I made a cup of tea and I came back. I did that as well.
okay, but yeah, people keep forgetting that Sugar was pitchforked out there, but he did all that for Tottenham Hotspur, and there was massive protests to get him out. Levy's
Yep.
had twice as long. All right, the stadium, yes. All right, the training ground, one trophy.
Honestly, I could
Got-
give less of a fuck, Brian. Honestly, the stadium could give less of a fuck. Could give
Yeah.
two flying fucks. At this point, that stadium, you know what it is. We all know it. That
just a
stadium
cash cow.
is just so when things go, shit goes south, he gets to sell the club for triple or quadruple than what he bought it for. It's just for that. It's just for him and Enoch for when they finally decide that when they squeeze the soul and every living fucking being out of this fucking club, when
not
they
triple,
squeeze all of that, they're gonna sell
10
that
factorial.
for 10 fat. Yep, exactly. They're gonna
10
sell it.
factorial, honestly.
Oh, sorry,
You
I forgot, Mr.
100
Mr. K. You could
you
even
get
talk about
100.
Sugar.
Sorry?
You could even harp on what I said about Sugar. I don't know why I didn't just say you and Alex. I do apologise, brother. I do apologise.
No. I started. I've been in London all this time, but it was a case of like watching Spurs properly didn't really come about until I was in my 20s, like 21, 20. That's when I started. Before that, it was like a world of different, in East London. But the point is that with Sugar, it was like I was in back then. I was like into electronics and computers as well. So I knew all about Sugar. I knew he was a businessman. I knew he basically built himself. He prided himself. He had a lot of pride, but he also had a lot of vanity.
Yeah.
Right? And that was basically his mistakes. Is that he thought too much of himself in the end, right? And that alienated the fan base. But my point is with Levy, he's a slimy, smarmy son of a gun that happened to get in at the right time with the media, the Premier League, all that type of shamaz. Do you understand? And I think that's really what's like made him like what he is, and that's why.
Well, what it is and what gave Levy the greatest thing is like you got to remember when Man City got taken over by the billionaires, the first thing they went and done is bought Robinho, which is something that Man City fans could only have dreamt of during that time. And what Levy did, as soon as he did his first job as coming in as Tottenham chairman, is sacking ex-Arsenal manager in George Graham and bringing Glenn Hoddle. He bought himself instant happiness because he brought God back to Tottenham. And he gave himself breathing space immediately by doing that.
Crafty guy.
And of course, it's what he is. It's what he is.
Yeah. And guys, with that, I am going to pass out. I'm going to go to sleep. I have to wake up at 5:50 tomorrow. Go to work. Honestly, I'm glad. Honestly, I'm just picking up work days. At least I don't have to watch this shit no more. At least I'm gonna make some money. I'm just getting to a point where honestly I could care less about what happens to this team. To
Good job,
like
Marcelo.
Levy has sucked the soul
I
out
think
of
the
this
season
football
is
club.
done.
Well, not just the
Yeah.
season. I think the football club is just done. He's
Correct.
really. I think as long as Levy is here, he has sucked the soul out of his football club. He has ruined our reputation. He has sucked the soul out of it, and he even tried to
Just
kill our
let's try to be
tradition.
happy, guys, please.
He even had the audacity to try and kill our tradition. This is how far this guy is gonna go. Unless we get him out, honestly, I honestly can't care less. I can't. Even the players he brings in, look at these players. Do they want to play for Spurs? I mean, we talked about the gap in quality, right? But let's look when we beat Chelsea. That Chelsea team won the Premier League. That Chelsea team won many Premier Leagues. That Chelsea team won a fucking Champions League, man. That was one of the best teams in England. You know what I mean? We had the only players we had that were any quality was fucking Berbatov and and even Robbie Keane was getting up there in age.
Yep.
Like we didn't even have a great squad that won that. But you know why they won it? Because they at least had some fight back then in the old days. I talk with people. We didn't have the best squad. We didn't have the most consistent squad. Even under Nicholson, we didn't have the best and most consistent squad.
Yeah.
But we had heart. We had fight. There was players that were playing for the badge. Levy has sucked that all dry. He has made our club a complete commercial. We might as well be the next fucking Walmart. That's what we are. We're just a Walmart. We're
How sad is that? How
Give me a
sad is that?
kiss, Marcelo. Give me
Yeah.
a kiss on my lips.
no, honestly,
Marcelo, I'll tell you one thing though. I'm glad that we all like everyone's seeing this. Before, the fans were slightly like split on being able to see
Can't
where
make
the
gotta
live.
keep that muted.
They blame the managers, they blame the players, they blame the officials, they blame the weather, the wind, but they were very reluctant to aim at the board and in person.
and I don't get it. And I don't get it. And I don't get it.
They didn't know.
And to add to Celery's comment, as I'm gonna go, Celery agent. Yeah. He said, "I can't wait to support the NFL team he builds around Kane." Honestly, I think I would not be surprised if Levy tries to make Tottenham Hotspur into an NFL team.
Any person who builds an NFL team around a kicker, a place kicker, is absolutely insane. Just saying.
I love Celery.
But that would be a
I
Daniel
absolutely
Levy
love that man.
masterclass. That would be a Daniel Levy masterclass. You'll make hundreds of millions. And goodbye, fellas. Have a good
Marcelo,
one. Come on,
speak
you
to you,
Spurs.
brother.
Good night, man. Take care.
Yeah, come on.
See ya.
Bye bye.
Good night, mate.
Bye bye. Communist.
I mean, like, yeah, like, just continue on this topic. Like, from Daniel Levy, there's really no direction in terms of the player that he brings. Like, one of like the only good thing that I would say that came out from his Jose Mourinho term was obviously he showed the flaws that this board has, but also his signing of like Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and like Joe Hart. Joe Hart, don't get me wrong, he's a shitty keeper. He's terrible. But the only thing that he brings is he's a veteran and he knows how to win. And he kind of brings that kind of winning mentality to the team instead of, because in the past, this team would constantly go for like that young, exciting player that has no experience just for like the hopes that you might get the next Heung-min Son or the next Harry Kane. But I just want this team to kind of bring in a player that kind of has a winning mentality because the main thing that's draining this football team is this team has no idea how to win.
So,
when it comes down to these tough moments, it's like they have no idea what to do next. They're a bunch of rookies. That's what it feels like.
Do you know what? I'm completely with you. Now, I'd say when we signed Joe Hart, I actually thought it was an inspired signing. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Not because he's a great goalkeeper, but because of his winning mentality, because of his experience, because he's non-stop shouting. When we signed Gareth Bale, yes, the heart was, oh my God, Bale's back. That's a 4-time Champions League winner and a Liga winner. We bring these players in with this mentality and we don't give them any leeway to do things their way and show them, listen, I've won this. They can't stamp their authority on it. Joe Hart took a 15 grand pay cut a week from Burnley to come to us. And I'm not saying he should be number one because Hugo was superb today. Absolutely a colossus. But we bring in these players, and this is what we needed. We needed players that have got that winning mentality, that have been there, gone the distance, got the medals to win it. And we're not talking losers' medals that we collect. We're talking winners' medals.
I'm talking the real
We're talking
medals.
winners' medals. And they don't get to stamp any of their authority. It's
Eugene, what were your thoughts on the match today, my man?
Oh, dear. The defense did pretty well, but somehow or another, we lost our attacking edge. And I think this team, for this cup final, and of course Ryan Mason, it was all Levy's doing. I think Levy is unhappy that the ESL is not going through. That's why he sacked Jose. And he's doing this to piss us off. Really, really piss us off. So we can rant and make all the shitty noise we want now, but we must plan for a change. And we must constructively find a way to kick them out. I mean, even if they are worth 2.5 billion on paper now, if you take away their debts and all that, I don't think they're worth that much. And with the stadium that we built, he's actually put the club into more debt. And if it doesn't work out for him, I think he's panicking now. Because once you pull out the ESL, where is he going to find all that money to pay back that billions that he built the stadium for, right? So he's pissed off. So I don't think it's Ryan Mason's team. And you saw the substitution. I mean, like, what the fuck? Seriously. What the fuck? I was going like, why are you taking Moore off and bringing on Bale and Dombele? I mean, and Sissoko. I mean, if you somehow there must have been something. And Delhi, I mean, was it like just window dressing for the last 5-10 minutes for Delhi to get on? So you say, oh, Delhi's playing. Maybe he can push his price up another £5 million or something like that, right? So I guess it's all about the money in the end for this guy, and it's gone to the players too. And I think Kane, Son, and the core players who supported Mourinho were very up for the final. But when Levy sacked him, I think they all lost heart. You could see, I mean, Kane was injured. He shouldn't have been playing in the first place. But they just lost heart. You don't even see, like, I don't want to say, we were like battered for like 89 minutes. Shit.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
Younes,
like,
what do you think, my man?
But I'm saying now, I've been a Spurs fan for 40 years. It's been a love-hate relationship. Well, I was a Spurs fan. I'm Malaysian first, okay? My dad went to London to study law in the 80s, and I was brought over there. Actually, I lived near the stadium at the time. That's why I'm a Spurs fan. You see? And all add together, he's brought bad karma. Maybe the focus was more on the money, never on the football. And I understand to a certain extent that, yes, we need money to buy better players to get further on. But what he's done is that maybe the corruption in the transfer system with him, he buys shitty players, right? And pays shitloads of money. Maybe some kickback or commission is somewhere around the way. And when we sell our best players, don't forget, when he came in, we were feeder club, right? We got Berbatov, we sold it into MU, we had Bale, we sold him to Real Madrid. Fair. But we had like 85 million at the time when we sold Bale. And what did we buy? We bought shitty players. And some of them are still there now.
Yeah.
You know? Lamela was part of the deal, right? And he's still there. Delayed love.
So, do you know what? I'm currently. Oh, sorry. Go on, my man. You finish.
So what I think now is the fans, not only in UK, the UK fans have to go and protest and show the banners and show that their dislike. The overseas fans should do what Will said in the first time. You know what? Against the ESL, we should stop supporting all their shit. The sponsors, AIA, Audi, every single shit sponsor, we go against them, then maybe we can take him out. Then we have to set up a system, right, where the fans own equity up to 51 or 60% of the club and set up a governing body. Don't centralize the power. The problem in the world now, the government controls everything. Power is being centralized and we're all getting screwed. The rich is getting richer and the rich doesn't give a fuck about the poor, right? And as like in football, when the ESL came out, the fans around the world said no. That's why they heard it. Do you think, I mean, of course, everybody played their part, but to them, the global market is what they're interested in, right? And don't bring in another fucking billionaire to own the club, because the fucking billionaire is another greedy bastard who just wants money in the end of the day, right?
Exactly.
The billionaire can come in, right? Put a bit of money in it, right? And support us when we need you, okay? But let the fans own the fucking club. I'm sorry, guys, all the F words. I've been a Spurs fan for 40 years. You imagine the ups and downs I've been. That's why I said it's a bloody love-hate relationship. But somehow this club has always been in my heart. You see? So even though, to tell the truth, ever since Levy taken over, I've never bought a single shit merchandise, because after what I saw, it's just giving him money for nothing. Really, he doesn't put it back in the players. And like you said, the scouting system sucks. I don't know why we missed out on Grealish for extra £5 million. You didn't want to pay the 25 million. Come
It
on,
wasn't 25 million.
Right.
It was less.
I mean, this team definitely needs a director of football. So, yeah.
Well, it's not that.
whatever we
Do you know
need,
what?
It was Grealish, Dybala, Fernandez, Diaz. Who
You can make a
else?
whole list like of 50 players, man. I could have took this team
I'd
to the next
rather
level.
I'd rather we gone back to being a feeder club, right? At least
So,
we know where
Mr.
to
K,
play and don't
I'm going to have
have
to interrupt
end
for a
up
second.
big six or a big off.
Eugene, I'm going to have to
Okay,
interrupt
sorry,
you
guys,
for a
go ahead.
second.
Yeah.
Mr. K, Brian, Abdul, I have to run to the restroom for about 2 minutes. So if you guys can keep the conversation
No
rolling,
problem.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you, fellas.
I just want to say one thing. So I'm
Right.
actually on the club's official website now, and I'm looking at the part where it says our official suppliers and our official partners. Do you know we have a supplier for who is called Martin, which is our official sports fuel supplier. God knows what that is. We have an official coffee, which is called Tiki Tonga, which is our official coffee supplier. Let's have a look at this one. There's some other crazy ones. Molten Brown, official supplier of toiletries for Tottenham Hotspur. This is look. I'm on the club's website right now. We have something called Carlisle Support Services. Apparently, there are official Carlisle Support Service. God knows what that is. We have so many pointless. Oh, and let's not forget Dulux, as I've just come across.
Oh yeah, I was about to say.
Of course.
But we have is on the club's website. Tiki Tanga is the club's official coffee supplier. These are our sponsors that we're officially partnered with.
I mean, they're just leeching on to any firm, any company that really wants a sponsorship. Tottenham's well open. I mean, they're just a bunch of money hungry. Like wherever there's an opportunity to make some extra dollars, they're always gonna.
We have another one, Vivo Power, our official battery technology department or partner. Cadbury, our official snack supplier. What? They're pumping money into the club, and I don't know why we need an official snack partner if they're meant to be blooming health freaks and training athletes. I don't know ever in a sporting term why we've needed an official battery technology partner. Absolutely no idea. We have hotels.com, which is our official accommodation partner.
Okay.
I can guarantee any Spurs season ticket holder that I speak to or diehard that goes home away in Europe do not have a special discount for being a Spurs fan when they book tickets through hotel.com.
Stingy.
We have the list goes on. It's just nonsense. What this club stands for is nonsense. We are not. When you look up Tottenham Hotspur in the dictionary, it should say Tottenham Hotspur Football Club exists. It shouldn't say football club anymore. It shouldn't even say sport. It should say business with a football team as a sideburn.
The thing about this team, like this team is just they're afraid of the additional pressure. Like they're afraid to reach the mountaintop. They're afraid to be a top team in the league. Like if there's ever an opportunity to win the league, I guarantee you this team will never take that chance. They always like being in the shadow, and I don't understand it because it reflects poorly on the fans. I mean, just like the whole transfer policy that Daniel Levy operates in, like what Daniel Levy and this whole board needs to understand is it doesn't matter, like not every player you sign for big money is going to work. There's going to be some flops in there. And the reason why I'm saying that is because this team, no matter what big signing they make, whether it's a Lo Celso or
a Cadbury,
or Nasir Chadli or whatever, they'll constantly play these players to try and boost up their value, to try and make a profit. And meanwhile, while they're doing this, whenever they're extending these people's years at this club, is drastically dropping the level of this team. I mean, you have players like Lamela, which should have gone 5 years ago. But just Daniel Levy's holding him on for that extra year in hopes that he spikes up and puts up 20 Premier League goals. And that's never going to happen. And I feel like Daniel Levy, like whenever you make it, like just you can look at any other team, like at Chelsea, for example. They sign players like Danny Drinkwater, who's a flop, Bakayoko, who's a flop. They get rid of these players because they're like, okay, that project has failed. Let's move on to the next project. But for Tottenham, it's like whenever they make that one signing or a signing, they're constantly rubbing it in the fans' face, saying, hey, we still got this player, and we're never going to sell him. We're going to hold him for the next 8 years until he's 33 years old. And then at that point, he leaves the club for like $5 million.
Yeah, but do you realise as well that the big thing is when these players like Danny Drinkwater or other people went to these clubs, the chairman don't mess about. What do you want for the player? You want that much, there you go. Prime example, when you look at Van Dijk from Southampton to Liverpool, they tried to get Van Dijk all summer and they could not agree a fee. Van Dijk even put in a transfer request and started playing up. They couldn't get it done. And on deadline day, Liverpool turned around to Jurgen Klopp and said, listen, we can get you another defender. We can get you another defender. He said, nope, we'll go back in January. Day before the window opens up, Liverpool said to Southampton, how much do you want? We fucked up. Listen, let's get it done. What do you want? 75 mil.
Exactly. They pay the asking price. You see, and that's why a team like Liverpool, they're smart. They do their business quick and early. They don't wait for all that nonsense deadline day drama bullcrap. Like and you look at Liverpool. Liverpool, they already secured the signing for Ibrahima Konate, and the thing didn't even open up yet, the transfer window. Like it's reportedly already completed to when the transfer window does open on the first day, he's automatically going to Liverpool. And I'm saying like that is a team right there that understands its frailty, that understand where they're lacking. And then the first thing that they're doing is going in and signing a new center back.
Yep.
And this Tottenham team, I mean, there's so many holes in this club. Anybody and their mama can see what this team needs. You needed a Milan Skriniar.
Oh, we need a lot. We need a lot of players.
I just want to ask the chemist. There was a comment that just came out from the chemist that was saying RM. Now I've heard this name mentioned. Were you thinking Roberto Martinez when you said RM? Because this is the thing.
Oh, the Belgian manager? No, I don't want him.
I don't want him. But apparently he is really, really, really
Levy must have been texting Roberto Martinez whenever he was on this. I mean, no, that's like the cheap option. And
of course.
Players he wants to put in and take out.
Ryan Mason. Mr. K, you're a genius. You're a genius.
Oh, Ryan Mason.
I completely forgot about him. I completely forgot about our manager.
Yeah.
Maybe touch Ryan Mason. I want this guy in now. So that's why you get this guy coming in, and we all hey, what the fuck?
I do feel like there is a lot of pressure on this board to get this manager signing right. And for that reason, I 100% think that they will sign Julian Nagelsmann. I have no doubt about it. I think he is the long-term option. Huh?
Yeah, but the reports came out today that he said he wanted to go to Bayern Munich and that he doesn't want to. There's no release clause on his contract from RB Leipzig.
They bring now, right?
Okay, so there's no release contract on who, the manager?
Yeah, on Julian
go
Nagelsmann.
anywhere.
Okay,
and he wanted to go to Bayern. Bayern's like his destination, basically.
Okay, don't you think that him not having a release clause is better and higher hopes of Spurs signing him? Because if he has a release clause, then Bayern can just trigger that, and then because the whole point is RB Leipzig does not want to sell their manager or any pieces to Bayern. They don't want to create a larger level of like talent disparity, right? They want more equal. So
yeah, you got a point there, but like if he doesn't have a release clause, then how are we gonna get him?
Awesome in the house.
Because we need him in the summer. Remember that.
Yeah.
If we want to start to rebuild immediately.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like, how are we gonna get him? And like I think he said, like his destination, he wanted to go to Bayern, basically.
He'd need to resign, Eunice. He'd need to flat out resign because there's no release clause. Then the thing is with the release clause, obviously, if we match it, then we have to talk to him. There's nothing Bayern can do. But without a clause, sorry, not Bayern, Leipzig, then the only way he goes if he either puts in a request, goes on gardening leave, or he quits.
But do you see him leaving
Leipzig?
Yeah, do you see him leaving Leipzig to come to us with this board, with these players?
I don't
see the manager leaving. I don't see the manager leaving Yeovil Town to come manage us right now.
No. Listen, Everyone's going to
joining
be
the
passive.
Premier League
Let
is
people do it.
still the most. Yeah, go, Mr. K.
Sorry. Basically, look, every year this guy is like, he's crafty at something, right? He's good at something, and he survived all this time, right? So what would be the best way for him to survive this summer? He gets Nagelsmann, and then pulls out some crap from some money, sells on a couple of players, and bang, gets someone the next season. People come in, start buying merchandising. You know, that's the way he is, bro. That's what's going to happen.
It's a huge business move to get your fans on your side if you bring in someone like Nagelsmann. And I think for that reason, because there's so much hot water under Daniel Levy and the board, that the signing of Julian Nagelsmann, they're going to have to make it to get some sort of freedom.
Nagelsmann will come to the Premier League. He will come to the Premier League.
Exactly.
This club was just even this weekend. It was like, you know, one in the top 6 apparently. You know, there you go. So he will come because he has done step 1 and 2. Okay, he's done it in local. He's done it in like competitive high, and now he's ready for a sort of like bigger club. He's young. He does. If he goes straight away to the top, he doesn't. This is the Premier League. This is where people want to come to as a manager. They all want it. Seriously, they all desire it. Forget Real Madrid and Barcelona and stuff like that. That is like, you know, right at the top, and Bayern Munich as well. But the thing is, the expectation, you cannot do a project there. Nagelsmann is a project person, right? He wants to build a squad of players. He will change the system up, make it flexible, and that is Levy. You know, he loves that type of manager, and the managers would love him. Trust me, this merry-go-round will go, but Enoch out.
So guys,
Yeah, like I do. Yeah, Enoch out for sure, and I do think for sure that Julian Nagelsmann will be a Tottenham manager at the end of this year. Oh well, before next season. What I'm trying to say.
guys, I've heard some kind of rumors that Brendan Rodgers is already close to agreeing a deal to a Premier League club. Some sources has just been saying this on Twitter. I've been following this, and it's saying that Brendan Rodgers is close.
I mean, it all comes down to Julian Nagelsmann himself. If he's really eager to come to the Premier League and test himself, to coach up against the best managers, and if he really wants a challenge, I mean, he'll choose Tottenham. But you know, if he wants to go to Bayern Munich, nobody will stop him from doing so. So, I mean, it all comes down to him. So,
Lila Kim, she knows her stuff. But anyway, Awesome All, what's going on, my man?
Anyway, hey, how are you? How you guys doing?
We're doing good, man. We're doing good.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Awesome. I just wanted to say to you, sorry that we couldn't get you on. We Are Tottenham Away. We Are Tottenham Away. I'm mixing the 2 channels. Tottenham Away.
Yeah.
Your reception was a bit in and out. We really apologize, man, but we'll get you on again.
Yeah, my reception was away. The point I was trying to make on that station, I'm gonna try and make it here, and I will make it as quick as possible. We all see the truth and we all know the truth, but for some reason, some fans deny it because of other reasons or other purposes. I'm not trying to get into that, but this is what I'm gonna say. I said it before on the station and I made it clear. I told you, Tottenham is an entertainment company. It's never a football club. Everybody thinking it's a football club is a pure, serious mistake. This guy has showed you guys over and over and over and over a distraction strategy. I mean, I don't have, for example, Donald Trump. Anytime Donald Trump is trying to get away with something, he said, don't look at me, look at what them. Never look at me, look at them. If it does anything wrong, it creates a distraction strategy. By the end of in 2 minutes later, everybody's running towards that thing. The truth about it is, Levy have always created a strategy. When we are all running that, the first coach came, we have 3 managers who have tried to get a cup and they all failed woefully. When Poch came, towards the end, these players were so bad. He knew they were so bad. He said, hey, I need players. I need players. What is the whole point of building a new stadium with not a new house or a mansion with nothing to show for it? There's nothing inside. What are you building it for? But the whole purpose of them building it is to cause a distraction. I gave you guys the example. I said, Poch went to Champions League 4 times, 250 million a piece. That's 1 billion to them. But that's just Champions League money. And these people still went and borrowed money to build the field. I understand the strategy of finance, but I'm not talking about Premier League. You didn't talk about money from the TV. You're not talking about money from the stores. You're not talking money from the promotion, the designers. All this stuff, money still came. These people embezzled all the money and turned around and said, "Oh, don't look at what I'm doing. Look at that. We're building a stadium. So don't look at us." And when Jose came, Jose was actually a plot for him not looking. Don't look at me. Look at that. Don't look at this. Look at that. When Jose came, it took him almost months to figure out how bad this player was. When he knew how bad it was, he said to them, he said, "Hey, I need players." He said it in the public, and the players knew they were bad. He said it to them too, that they were bad. They turned around and started adding chairs. Levy turned around and started adding more chairs to the stadium. And I'm saying that these guys are dead woods. And these guys, if I know you're trying to get me out at a job, my first strategy will be to do everything to get you out first. And all the players come together and say, let's get Jose out first. He's not going to get us out. We're going to get him out. And guess what? The Deadwood stay. Jose's out now. Deadwood are staying. And they're going to renew their contract. Period. There's nothing nobody can do. You cannot move them back because they're already there. And they're not going to leave for no reason. And one thing I will tell you guys, which I said on Tottenham away today, I said, Poch was never the manager. Jose was never the manager. Mason was never the manager. Every formation you see on that team was done directly by Levy. All the players that came out today, Levy was the one that gave, this is what I want. And Levy was trying to control Poch in the beginning and said, I don't want you controlling, don't go there and tell my players, don't go behind me and tell players something else. And that's what he did to Jose. He goes behind them and tell the players something else.
Yep.
He goes behind all these players and tell them something else. And they asked Mason, how did the players did today? Oh, they did great. They did great. Because he's looking on top and said, oh, I don't want to get fired by morning. I have to say the players are doing great.
Yeah.
I mean, they did so bad. And I said the same thing during our Southampton game. Everybody was battling me online for saying that. I said, these players are bad. They are bad.
He got injured.
Yeah.
They are so bad. He might have been getting right.
I said everybody was like battling me on that day. I said these players were bad. I said it on Irish Hotspur and Irish.
Osama.
Yeah.
Osama, even what's shocking is that the board is not backing the manager. The board is backing the player. That's just so symbolic.
Yeah, that is it. Okay, I'm gonna give you a good example now that will shock you guys. We played Man City, right? In December, in November, in October, the players in Man City were against Guardiola. That's why Guardiola was refusing to sign a new contract. Do you guys remember that? They were 15th. They were 16th. And the board turned around and said, we are backing our coach because this is the best coach in the world. That is when some of the players started turning around and joining and say, hey, I'm not going to be cast out. If you remember, he cast out their striker for a long time. That the two strikers were started fighting on the field at some point. And today of all days, this guy did not use a striker. There was no striker on the field. We are over here. We can rant all we want. He was playing a false 9. And people were saying that Jose will never win this. Jose has been preparing for this game for a whole month. That's one of the reasons why he was fired. Because they said, he said, oh, he won't even pay attention to the Southampton game. That's why they said
Our
Jose.
Priority is the top four, not the cup.
Yeah, because he wanted the cup. Because believe me, if Jose would have come there and win this cup, he would have said, no, thank you, I've done my job, I'm out of here. Because he knew Levy was controlling too much power. If you look at this,
Osmo, I gotta stop you for a second.
Yeah.
Just simply because I have some business to handle. The
Yes.
guys on Facebook that are watching, if you'd like to watch the full stream, come on over to the YouTube channel. I'd like to keep you guys on, but we're trying to pull people over here. And so if you're watching and you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe, like button. And Facebook guys, the stream continues on YouTube. See you next time. Okay. All right, continue.
So my thing is on Tottenham Hotspur, I heard people said Jose was never gonna win the game, and Jose would have played 4-4-2 today, and he would have used a counteracting 6-3-1 because he would have kept 6 players behind, and he would have kept one. He would have played the same original thing, the same original formation he was playing before. Remember that formation that he was using before, where he had Dombele at 10. Not even I wouldn't even have played, because all these things that he was doing was just a tryout. The only reason why he started using Dombele at 8 was everybody he tried at 8 didn't work. Everybody keep failing. Everybody keep failing. This is why I would have agreed with Will when he said Lamela should have played 8. Because it seems fitted more at 8. And Dombele should have played 10. To me, because Dombele, he played, look at the goal he scored for that month. He scored from the 10th position, which was the corner. It was a beautiful goal.
The Sheffield United goal?
Yeah, I don't know who we were playing with that. He kicked it from the corner side and it went across straight into the net.
Yeah.
That's Dombele. Dombele was playing I think he was playing much better in 10 than 8. But because Jose tried him at 8 and we won a couple of games and said, oh, let's just keep him there. He's better out there. But because he's not the kind of guy that can hold the ball. He's a dribbler. Dribblers don't hold the ball because they lose the ball because they dribble so much. Bruno Fernando lost the ball so much. That's why they keep him at 10.
And this is a good question right here from Christopher Gully, right? So apparently it was Daniel Levy, right, who reached out to Tanguy, right, when Jose didn't want to play him. So why is Tanguy all of a sudden in the doghouse? Anybody have an opinion or a thought on that?
You know what it is? It's you've got to look at it. When we signed him last season, we can all agree we saw glimpses, very, very few glimpses, but he was injured all the time. His fitness was pathetic, and he had to have a whole pre-season to get better. This season, we saw a completely different Tanguy. But just like with Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who played game number 55, he's still not fit enough for a full English full season. He still is playing all over the place. He still doesn't have the correct. He's not suited to play next to Højbjerg. And
Brian,
the thing is, we have. Yes, Mr. K.
Brian, to the question, like why he got in the doghouse. Look at who's in charge, the manager, right? Look at who he trusts, academy player like him. How do they view such a player that looks like Tanguy, right? He doesn't look like he can move fast, but if you watch some of his moves he did, he was in deep midfield, he crossed the ball to the right, and then the guy moved like a leopard to try to get on the end of it, right, in the box, from deep midfield. So the guy he reserves his strength, he works in a different way. Now, according to the academy players, when they're training, they're giving it like, it's like you're doing well, you're ticking the boxes. You're in the midfield now with wings. You're passing sideways, but they're completions. You're getting X amount of that. It's like that's the type of academy players that they want to get these points. They don't have the necessary upper end class like Kane has got or Son has got. So he's played wings. He's who you trust. Now they can turn around and snigger at Tanganga and say, "Oh, he's got fat ass and he's like this, that, and the other." But the guy's a foreign. He's like come from another league. It's like now he's showing at least half of the season. He's showing us what he can do. And the next season he might show it for 3/4.
Oh no, I don't dispute. I don't dispute.
So right
we
now,
all saw his YouTube video where he's flicking people and getting past everybody on the pitch, making Dele Alli look like he's got 2 left feet.
But the point is that why didn't he get played? This is where you put on people who you believe that they're going to do what you want, and there's interference from Levy, plain and simple, right?
Yeah.
He's going to keep hold of Tanguy, but he wants to grow him, but he doesn't realize that Tanganga is one of those players that if you put him in a game like this is when one moment of class can get you one goal. One moment of class. That's where Bale, right? Yeah, didn't get an opportunity to do because he should have been on the beginning, the first half, to get that class. Then on the second half, you bring on the Kane, right? And then if you get to 70 minutes, because Kane's on the pitch now, you can now sub off Tanganga. You understand? And that's when you can bring on, one of the other players that you're going to fight with. But this was tactical naivety from setup and formation, and also the lineup and the substitutions. We all saw that. 2 shots played in 90 minutes is a disgrace in a final. Is a disgrace. Tactical naivety to set up on a 4-3-3 to defend in an awkward 4-4-4-4-2, right? When you should be saying, hold on a second, we need to strengthen those mid-halfway channels so that they can't crisscross.
So do you know what? When you say that as well, Mr. K, you got to remember, we only had 2 shots against Everton. We were just lucky Kane was at the end of them and he scored both. That's what we do now. We have 2 shots. And do you know what it is? I think someone was saying to me, I think it's the 5th or 6th final we've been in where we haven't even scored a goal.
We had 29 shots or 32 shots. It was the highest we ever done against Newcastle, and we lost the game.
Yeah.
Because none of them went in. But my point is, how many creations did we do? This game, 2 shots up. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, they were Mr. K. Mr. K.
It was the same in Everton. 2 shots on goal.
Mr. K, this is what I say they were trying to do, because it was obvious that they were trying to use the wings. They were trying to use the wings to score. That's why they keep trying to pass the ball to Aurier, for the Aurier to kick the ball in. But by the time the ball gets to Aurier, 2 people are already in front of Aurier.
That's naivety.
Then pass back.
That's what I'm The tactical
then
work.
Pass back to Aurier. They were trying to go through Aurier the whole time.
The tactical work, if you have wide players that can beat the opposition's wide player for skill.
There you go.
The problem was, you're up against world-class, when they're day, they're world-class players against you on the wings. Mahrez, for crying out loud, the guy's got a Premier League freaking title, for crying out loud. The guy went from Leicester to Thingy. Come on. You're going up against him on the left, and you got who on the right? No. You got Sterling running rings around you. Think about the 2 wide areas, Sterling and Mahrez. You'd put your money on those 2 to get past our back 2 on the right, in the wings. You would put money on it. It's simple as that. And you saw it.
Not with Reguilon. You got to remember, Reguilon in the first game when we won 2-0 that everyone talks about, Mourinho had the bet with Sergio that if Mahrez doesn't get past you, I'll buy that £500 ham for you, which he did. Reguilon, no one got past Reguilon. Reguilon in the first half today was appalling, was abysmal. Second half, he got slightly better. But he has been.
Southampton was the same way.
I want to interject.
Bad in the first half, good in the second.
The ref. Let's talk about the ref. How many times was Reguilon fouled and it wasn't even called? How many times was Luke Small
where his leg was stomped? It should have been a red card, to be honest with you. Kyle Walker should have got sent off for that, stomping on the back of his calf.
Yeah.
That was
even
bad.
called for a foul. It wasn't even a foul.
What about me? Why didn't I come on the pitch today?
I wish he'd played instead. I wish he played. At least you turn around and say, listen, bye bye.
I would have done better than Sissoko.
That's just very quickly, guys. On that note, I am literally struggling to keep my eyes open. I did have to drink all that coffee because we're not going for 8 hours in case I would have been wide awake.
2 hours if you're tapping out already.
Yeah, but that's because I didn't have any coffee. Well, if I had had to have got 8 hours with you, I'd had about 7 coffees before we came on, and another 7 during. So on that note, I am going to tap out and try and get some sleep. But guys, always a pleasure. Have a great evening. I'll carry on listening, and who knows, if Will triggers me, I might make another appearance. But have a great night, everyone.
Stop talking bad about me, Brian.
Guys, I will see you later.
Brian.
Oh yeah, big time. Mwah to everyone except for that picture.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
See you later.
Never.
Let's talk about.
Ah,
I wanna-
man. Too much
I wanna
talking in the
talk about-
background, bro.
I want to talk about Son and Kane today. Son specifically.
Especially Son.
Where was he today?
Jason's in the house, by the way.
I mean, he was sloppy with the ball. There was so many times where like the ball just bounced off his foot. Against Man City with that press, you gotta be sharp. You gotta take one one touch, quickly make a move. Either you're gonna go forward or pass. Too many times where he would get the ball, a sloppy pass, lose possession.
It was sloppy. It was sloppy because of two reasons. Number one, they are all playing out of formation. I'm gonna tell you right now. Levy is the manager. It's not Mason. When you have Winks on there, Winks hasn't played in a long time. All Winks does is play side to side, side to side, side to side. That's it. And the reason why they are playing 4-4-3 is because they panicked and look at the opposition and played the opposition and played just what the opposition is playing. They made the formation based on the opposition.
And the thing I hate about Winks is he does not really offer himself up. Like
he doesn't
as a
offer
midfielder,
anything. All he does is play side to side, and he
yeah,
wants
but
to
the thing
boost
is,
the money.
That's his job.
as a midfielder, the position that he's playing, you know, the number 8, the box to box. Whenever you see your teammates getting pressured, you need to sprint to an open position,
Opposite stuff to
point the
get
ball
to
to your
receive the
feet.
ball.
Yeah,
To
that's what I'm
receive the
saying.
ball.
He does not do that.
Because
A lot
that's
of
not what
time,
he's
I just see him.
for.
He's
All he
pointing
does
out,
is side to side.
and
That's
what
why
he
they are
hides,
all
like
playing.
this dude will purposely go behind like a Man City player and be like, "Okay, I'm not here. I'm not open. You can't pass me the ball. So just hoof." I'm like, no. As a midfielder, like when I'm watching like Luka Modric,
We have two Mr. K's.
against Liverpool.
What?
What?
One disappeared.
When I'm seeing a player like Luka Modric, he's constantly sprinting to open position, looking around, finding an open space, and quickly getting the ball. You get the ball, you quickly turn around, you spray the ball. That's your job. And Harry Winks is not even doing his job correct. He does not offer anything going forward. He doesn't really offer, as an option to his teammate. And I'd be like, he didn't do anything. Like, he didn't do anything. Like, he didn't cause any goal. He didn't make any crazy mistakes. You know, he didn't make any forward passes. He was just there, just taking up space. He was like a spectator.
That's the thing. That's what I was saying before. That all that choices, everybody on that team was actually done by Levy. Levy is one that said you have to play wings. You gotta play wings. I want wings on there. I don't care what you said. This is what I want because that's what he wants. And that's the same thing Jose was trying to fight him about, saying, no, I'm gonna choose who I want. And the problem is when you have a lot of deadwood fighting against a manager, there's really nothing you can do as a manager. You can't succeed. That's why Jose said to you and said, hey, the problem in the club is bigger than me. It's even bigger than what the problem is. That's why Jose was rebellious against everything, because why are you? I'm trying to win the cup. That's what I'm trying to do. If Jose would have won the cup, Jose would have
Go to bed,
left
Mr.
anyway.
K.
Listen, guys, good night. Honestly, I've got a job to go to in 3 hours. I just got the interview done yesterday, emergency on a Sunday. And
Go to bed, man.
Crazy
Crying out
thing.
loud, 3 hours.
But listen, it's the love of you guys
Bye-bye,
and
Mr.
the
K.
Spurs fans, you know, and, you know, Spurs itself, which has kept me up all this time. So good night, guys. Listen.
All right, take care, man.
Good night, Mr. K. Good luck.
Thanks
Jason,
for
I'm sorry
supporting the
for
show as
you.
always,
Bye-bye.
Mr. K.
Good
Appreciate
night,
it.
Deshaun. Good night, everyone.
Come on, you sports.
Good night.
Good on you, sir.
Good night. Good night.
Come on, Spurs.
I just wanted to just chime in real quick on what I saw because I agree with Abdul. When I noticed a lot when they were trying to play at the back, Winks was literally hiding. He did not make himself available for the ball at all. You know, you could see the frustration between Eric Dyer and Toby Alderweireld. They were very frustrated. They had nowhere to go with the ball. Reguilon has been poor for the last 3 or about the last 4 weeks. It's been very poor. When I saw the lineup, I was, my goodness, I was like, wow, okay. this is going to be interesting. And at the half, I was like, okay, I'm asking questions like, how the hell have they not scored? But we were still in it. And I think if you were looking on Twitter, if you looked at Twitter, if you listen to all the pundits, I think everybody and their mother was screaming out that, like, you need to put in Ndombele in this game. Literally. Yes, I'm on Twitter now.
Yeah, the game was screaming for Ndombele.
I mean, that game was screaming for Ndombele. That game was screaming for. I mean, it was one of those. This game, you know. I mean, granted, they kept it tight. You know, I kind of figured this is what they were going to do. I think, like, okay, we're going to keep it tight. If we don't concede a goal, okay, let's go have a go in the second half. And I think, like, if he was going to, and what completely killed it for me when he brought in Sissoko, I was like, what are you playing for? I mean,
substituting Lucas Moura as well.
Yeah, because
substituting Lucas Moura as well.
Yeah, because I mean, you took out Moura. I mean, I can understand if you're going to bring in Bale. But, like, dude, you're not playing FIFA where you just switch like for like. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I didn't mind if you were going to pull out, if you were going to take off, if you're going to bring Bale into the game. I felt like instead of bringing in, or even if you do bring in a Sissoko, I just can't even see Sissoko coming into the game.
Mm-hmm.
It just taking out Moura didn't make sense to me. I mean,
yeah,
you could have at least moved if you're going to take Lo Celso out.
I mean, look at this.
Yeah,
even Lucas Moura had the highest score other than Toby Alderweireld this match, and he would get subbed off.
So when I look at this, I figure, okay, if you're gonna take out Gio,
6.6 for wings, nah.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna take out Gio, okay, then move more into the 10.
Exactly. I had no problem with Gio coming out.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with Gio coming out. I just felt like if you're gonna take Gio out, right, and you're gonna bring in Bale, okay, then move freaking Moura to the 10.
Exactly.
Okay?
Don't bring on Sissoko for the likes of them. Exactly.
Who was subbed on for Aurier?
That was Bergwijn.
Bergwijn in the last minute of the game.
Yeah. Last 5 minutes. I mean, he didn't make any. He didn't. Reguilon was poor. And this is one of those games where you literally can say, you know what? Truth be told, Toby and Eric had a hell of a game. They played their asses off.
Toby, Dyer, and Lloris had a phenomenal game.
I have no complaints about. I have no complaints about.
We'll be like, they were solid at the back. They were solid at the back.
I mean,
you also see, look, and I thought, looking at this here, and this is what I thought was the most telling about this match. If you notice the end of this peak here, right? These are 10-minute slots, so that's right at the 67th minute. So as soon as Mason made his substitutions, look how the attack momentum flipped.
Yeah, I felt like we came out real positive in the second half. It's just that, and it's like I was saying in the chat, it was very hard to tell. It was very hard to tell whether Kane was feeling it. He just wasn't getting any service.
Press the button.
Guys, you remember the chance? One chance.
Hey, Sushant, let's let Eugene say something here for a second. I can't hear both of you guys when you're talking at the same time. Eugene, what were you saying?
Sorry. I said when we came out in the second half, we showed intent, right?
Yeah.
And somehow or another, somebody pressed the button and reduced that intent and made us fuck up. So I guess maybe we really sold the cup for money.
I don't know.
I don't know if I want to go that far. That's pretty conspiratorial right there. But
I mean,
but like, you see the stuff. You see, like if you go in there, like you said, if Jose was in charge, right? He would have wanted to win this cup because that's his rep. Okay, but
that's what I was
when you
saying.
took Jose out, once you took Jose out, Levy became the manager. Right, so if he's pulling the strings and he's out of it, the ESL, he's doing it all to spite us. Can't you see it, guys?
I know.
That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying. Like, this is just too much of it. I mean, you have 3 managers and none of them worked. Jose wanted the cup so bad. Just let me win this cup and get out of your club. That's all I gotta do. Let me just win this club and get out of here.
Well,
I
like
don't think having. I don't think
like Harry Kane had said on he had said that he was shocked when Jose was sacked because he said Jose had been preparing for this final for a month.
There you go.
He had said Jose and like it was just like we've all been saying in a one-off cup final.
Why are you still up, David? Don't you got a flight tomorrow?
He's gonna have a game plan. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a game plan. I mean, I really don't. As far as who we're gonna sign as manager, Bayern Munich's already ready to push the button to go get Nagelsmann. I think they're already in talks with him. The minute they heard Spurs were sniffing around, Bayern went in to make that move. So that Nagelsmann thing,
agree with Jason.
Yeah,
Nagelsmann thing's not going to happen. You're not going to get Brandon Rodgers. Why would Brandon Rodgers give up?
Why would you leave? Well, my question is
Brandon Rodgers is tied until 2025, so there's no chance.
Okay, right. Let me ask you, all you guys. Okay, if you are the club, you are being backed. They are giving you all the money and the resources that you could ever need to win the Champions League or Premier League now, and you want to come to a club that you're not going to be backed and you're not going to be given any resources. Why would you want to risk your career for that?
Yeah, nobody's going to come to Spurs. Because funding challenge.
That's why I said on Tottenham away that we need to hire Ted Lasso and get the season 3 Apple Plus TV money.
The money won't go to the club.
And by the way, please, if anybody dare says Nuno from Wolves,
no, please, no. Listen, the only players I would sign from Wolves are Neto as a replacement for Son and Leon Bailey up front. If we want to rebuild.
Maybe Thiore. If Thiore was been playing like Aurier today, Thiore is way. Nobody can catch that guy. It's just too fast.
You know what? I would take.
If Ton goes, guys. To be honest, I'm gonna go for Ellinson maximum. To be honest, really, man, I'm really impressed with him.
That's exactly who I was about to say. I would take say maximum in a heartbeat from Newcastle. And I mean, did you see how he changed that game?
Yeah. I mean,
I swear, Alan saying Maximus sound like some 7-year contract or some crazy.
We can get him, man, but we can get him to be honest, man. We can get him up though.
100%. Yeah, you remembered the emoji. Thank you, Christopher. Going back to those who were on the stream earlier. And Brian and Jason and Asamal. I don't know. Were you guys on the stream earlier when we had the troll?
Yes.
Awesome. Were you here?
No, I wasn't.
So we had a troll, and he was kind of being derogatory in a manner. We taught him how he should be, and then banned him. But so you guys do know, I will be having during this blackout, the social media blackout that the EPL is doing, starting Friday at 3:00 UK time, at 7:00 UK time, which is 2:00 our time here on the East Coast. I'll be doing a stream on racism and xenophobia, because I think that instead of doing a blackout where nobody talks about anything, that we should be talking about it.
Absolutely.
So if you want to come on, that invitation will be out there for you guys too. So I'll throw that in Mr. K's rant chat.
And just on that, I mean, this is the fact that we're all here unified, no matter what race we are. Nobody's talking about religion. We're all here for one common thing, and that's Spurs, and we all love that team. And I think it's all agreed upon. And like I said, one thing I've always prided myself on is just that we love it for the sport. Sport is a unifying factor. We're all here. We can all talk about it. We're all going to have a go at the team. And anybody that feels that they need to come up in here and talk about somebody's religion or race, that has absolutely nothing,
or nationality or any of that. Like nationality bothers me too. Like it bugs me. Like when
I get it.
hang out a Spanish player. It's not just even being an American. I think, I think for us as Americans, we're used to taking trash from a lot of people overseas, but it kind of comes with the job of being the world superpower, right? But even when a Spanish player gets licked for doing something that an English player does just the same, or simply for the fact because there's not English, I think all of that is just ridiculous. Whether you're the same, skin tone as someone else, or whether you're a different skin tone from somebody else, discriminating against somebody based on their nationality or their skin color is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, people are people. If you disagree with them, it's even for religions too. If you're a different religion than me, then that's fine. We can still be buddies. I don't have to have, and I'm not going to discriminate against you simply because you believe in a different belief than I have. That's ridiculous.
And the truth of the matter is, it has nothing to do with the football. It has nothing to do with the football. I mean,
exactly.
We're all here looking. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at all.
Right. We're all sitting here saying, and I think no matter what, it doesn't matter what your religion is. When you saw that fucking team sheet today, you were like, "What the fuck was this?" Exactly. It didn't matter what color you were. It didn't matter if you were LGBT or whatever. It just didn't matter when you saw Sissoko come onto the game. You were like, "What? Holy shit!
Man.
Oh my god!"
Yeah.
The only way
I was just as mad about Winks starting as I was about Sissoko coming off the bench.
I mean,
but I have a feeling that the only way Jose would have put on Sissoko is if Bergwijn scored 2 goals and they need to hold on to those goals like crazy. Like it will probably bring all the defenders in to come and defend the goal. It will probably bring everybody in who is a defender behind their name to try to defend those 2 goals to make sure. And the way I look at the whole thing, I was at the stream earlier today, and they were saying Jose would never do this, I'm like, Jose would never bring Winks in. Number one, he would never bring Winks in. He would never bring Winks in, especially if he knows we have to score first. And he would have made sure, instead of wasting a whole first half, he would have made sure we scored the first 5 minutes and scored the second 10 minutes and try to hold on to that as crazy as he can. And he would have still used Bergwijn, even though people say he would have used Bergwijn on the right.
I don't necessarily think if we had Jose in the dugout, it would have been different. I mean, it was the same exact team we faced in the league early on in February, and we lost 3-0.
We got Spain.
No. You remember we did win them one time at the beginning of the league.
But that was. I mean, you can't look that. I mean, that game, it was so early on, and like Man City had their issues. I don't really.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because the players were against. We are still talking about the same. The players were against the manager, and the manager decided to cut them loose because the state controls Manchester City, not individuals that make a decision on it. And
I'm trying to argue. What I'm trying to argue is that if we had Jose in the dugout today, it would have been different. We would have still lost.
He's been preparing for this for a whole month, ignoring all the other games. That's one of the reasons why Jose fired him. If he had won this, he would have left anyway, because this is what he wanted to come and bring to the club, get them a cup and get out in the first place. So if this was his career title, he wouldn't want to give up that for nothing else.
I agree with Osama.
He would never want to give up this for nothing else. This is the only thing he wanted so bad from this club and get out. He doesn't even want to stay. He doesn't really want to stay.
We've got about 60 people watching right now, and I can tell you right now that the trolls are coming in and they're hitting the dislike button. So if you don't like the trolls, make sure you hit that like button, and let's get that. We've got 3 right now dislikes. For what?
Well, but what I would say to your offense, not even to your defense, is that the dead wood. If I was one of the dead wood, and I know Jose is trying to get me out in the summertime, I will do everything to get Jose out. I'll tell other players to do everything to get him out. That's what I would do if I'm an employee and I know somebody's trying to get me fired, a manager trying to get me fired. I'll do everything to make sure they fire that manager first. and that's all it is. And
I just think that with
Noogies.
I think with Jose, I mean, if one thing, because the one thing Ryan Mason said in his post game was just that they just didn't have time to prepare. You know what I'm saying? That's why they just looked completely lost when we had the ball. They didn't know what to do. It just I don't know. This team.
How can you not have time to prepare?
Not for a cup final. Not when you just was basically hired damn near yesterday and got thrown in. And then you got to prepare. That's why I said Jose's had a game plan.
So we have our Twitch watcher here, and I'd like to call us out because we don't have Twitch comments very often. I don't know what a Dino Noogie is. I know what a Noogie is, but what's a Dino Noogie?
Dino Noogie?
Anybody know?
I have no idea.
Mr. and Mrs. Twitch viewer, please elaborate on Dino Noogies. I do like mac and cheese though.
Yeah, I love mac and cheese. What?
If it's fresh.
Canadian,
it's got to be like straight off the skillet.
Craft dinner.
It can't be sitting around.
So my thing about it is right now we have the Deadwood stain, and they're gonna renew their
Dino
contract.
Nuggets are just chicken nuggets shaped in dinosaur.
I like chicken
dinosaur
nuggets.
shape.
I prefer chicken
I like
strips.
chicken nuggets. I like chicken.
I prefer
nuggets.
chicken strips than nuggets. But
Who doesn't like chicken nuggets?
Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's just dinosaur shaped chicken nuggets. Yeah.
Thanks for watching on Twitch, and follow us if you're not already following us. But I think you're already following us.
What an odd question.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
for
great.
Twitch, it's all good.
That's the question, man.
I'm gonna say this to you guys, and I'm gonna exit. I'm not gonna stay long anyway. I'm gonna say something about what Roy Kane said. Even though a lot of people were like bad mouthing the guy, but I think what he said was actually true the whole time. And it says that if this was my team, none of these players would be in my team. And we have come to see that none of these players will even get to any of the team. I mean, except with maybe 5, with a handful, 5 or 2 or 3. And we all know why. Because they are not just good enough to be in a certain level. You have a striker coming to play midfield, coming to play defense. I mean, how bad can you call a striker? Or how bad can you... Kane cannot be in midfield and at the same time be a striker in 2 places.
He should have been starting today. He should have been off the bench.
Me personally, I have no problem with the board sacking Mourinho. Just what I hate was sacking him 6 days before the final and leaving that up to be a debate. Why don't you just let the man play the final? If he fails, he failed, and then you sack him.
Yeah.
But when you sack him and then you're leaving all this, and now you have Sky Sports and you have ESPN FC. Now they're all saying, "Oh, what if Mourinho was here?"
Yeah, you've got the
Sparking this whole debate,
Mourinhoistas.
and you're just causing unnecessary, toxic, and unwanted attention to the
Toxic and unnecessary, but I if I'm honest, I'd agree with them.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but like, why sack him then? Like, why don't you just let the man play the
Why
final?
let them play the game?
They should have sacked him after the final.
I think Levy was banking off the fact that he was going to get the ESL money. So it's like, okay, I'm getting that money. 15 million
It
payout.
wouldn't matter. Yeah,
Nothing. Yeah.
100%.
I don't know if they were somehow banking for like a new manager bounce. Like, a lot of
No.
people
What
get-
it was is like because of the ESL, win, lose or draw, he's getting that 350 million pounds, right? So it didn't matter anymore.
Yeah, but
whether he
you
got
get the
top
trophy
4 or
if
whether
you
he
have
got it,
Mourinho. You have a
doesn't
higher
care.
chance of- Yeah, but
So
you
he gets
get
rid of Jose because it
So
costs him
when he
less
lost
to get
the
rid of him now
ESL,
than later.
Yeah, but like, would it really cost you more
If
money
Josie
to
won
go
the
with
cup,
him 6 days
you
after?
could pay more.
Apparently, yeah, because like so, for instance, right now on the table, I think we're what 6th.
Yeah. Okay.
So
We
there's
seventh.
a different
We seventh.
price. Are we 7th still?
I'm not even sure
After
anymore.
this weekend's games, but before this weekend played, I think our win against Southampton moved us up into 6th. So say Jose beats Southampton, and now he's in a different spot. You fire him, then it costs you 10 million pounds more, or 5 million, 15 million pounds more. You know what I mean?
But what
I
if
think-
you would have drew to Southampton or lost?
I just agree.
Southampton's
with you. I
pretty
agree
tough
with
to
I agree with you. Will. I
lose
think
to.
that- I agree with you. Will. I think this is
all about the money.
I think this is all about literally trying to skimp on the payments, and as long as you have a chairman that is going to be penny pinching, okay, you're literally like I said, this club needs to decide what the hell they want to be.
There you go.
Ryan Daigle can't stay away.
Are you going to be? Are you going to be a team that's going to build through your youth, okay, and build your team that way, or are you going to be a team that's going to buy players? You can't be in between.
You can't be in between.
Right, and if you're in between, you're nothing. You're neither. You're not going to be anything. Okay, you're just going to be meandering around. Like I said, whether Arsenal keep Arteta or not, the dude made the decision. Okay, they made a decision to say we're going to play the young kids. We're going to get rid of these players. No, they didn't improve. They're probably going to finish below us. But at the end of the day, they have a direction. They decided this is what they're going to do. This is what they're going to do. Manchester United the same way. Same. Man United is the same way. They decided this is what we're going to do. We're going to buy certain players, do this. We'll buy certain this, that, and the other, and we'll move on and do this.
But hold on, we got Brian here in his Tottenham PJs.
Every time he tries to go.
Welcome back, Brian.
Welcome back, Brian. Welcome back.
Welcome, Brian. Welcome, Brian.
I'm literally here for 2 minutes because I've just go to bed. I always read my Facebook memories if it's the next day, and obviously, so I'm going to read you a post that was on my memories that was 5 years ago today, and this is where we were 5 years ago today. These are facts. 22 points above Chelsea, 14 above Liverpool, 10 above both of the Manchester clubs, 5 points above Man United, 5 points above Man City and Arsenal, most goals scored in the league, least conceded, young PFA Player of the Year, Dele Alli, runner-up Player of the Year in Harry Kane, 4 players in Team of the Year, youngest average age squad, best and one of the most respected managers in the league, best football inside, second most distance covered, Bournemouth beat us from chasing the ball, best position, a future very bright, no team did the double of us over us, only team to not concede more than 2 goals in any game. Only team not to be beaten by 3 clear goals. Only lost by an odd goal. Double over the City, Man City. Unbeaten against Arsenal. Unbeaten against Liverpool. Manx needed an own goal to win, and that was the first game of the season. Beat Manx at White Hart Lane for the first time in years. Top goal scorer in Harry Kane. 5 internationals, England internationals, and Champions League to come. That was 5 years ago.
Oh my God! Take me back to those days.
And we bottled the league that same year.
We finished third in the 2 more tricks.
All that, I just had to read. I love it because when I come back into my Facebook memories, I have these and Levy rants that I just have to share with people, and that just came up. That's all I had to come to say. That's where we were, and look at where we are now. And on that, I'm going to get back into bed in my cotton PJs and go to sleep.
Good night, Brian.
Good night, Brian. Sweet dreams.
Good night, Brian. Good night. Thanks for everything.
Yeah, I agree with what Jason said. Like this team.
Help me, Brian. Sweet dreams, Brian.
Don't give a nightmare.
This team seriously needs to make up their mind in terms of what they want to become. Do they want to revert back to, their 2000s where they're just pretty much like a selling team to the big clubs, where a team like Man United comes and they take our Berbatov, or Real Madrid comes and takes our Modric and Bale? Do you want to become a selling club? Or do you strictly want to act like a big club?
But we can't. We have that $1 billion stadium.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That didn't stop them before from 2016 from behaving like this.
I think that's the dilemma that Levy's in. He doesn't know what to be, a theater club or a powerhouse.
And you can't be in the middle. You have to choose a side.
Levy knows what he wants to be. He wants to fuck us all.
And guess who else can't stay out of the stream? He tried to for the last 2.5 hours.
Cody Mack.
Hey.
Cody Mack.
Hello, Cody. Hello.
The 1-year-old woke up. You couldn't get back to sleep, and so you came to join us.
Look, it's easy to stay out of the stream when you're asleep. But I'm awake now.
Tottenham Hotspur.
Daniel Levy woke you up.
So since Cody Mack is here, I'm gonna throw the same question again. I'm gonna say, you guys, Ron Kane was right. Which of these players would have got into the team other than the main handful, the main one that we have? I'm talking about would any of the Deadwood really get in to any other club, really?
I mean, there's a place. I think there's other Deadwood. I think the fact of the matter is that they've been there too long. Some of them are a little bit. I don't think that they're complete trash players. They're just not good enough for us. They might be good for other teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, just at some point, we have to just say that we've made some very bad mistakes. I mean, we sold our right back, Kyle Walker-Peters. It's not like we didn't have. We've gotten rid of the wrong players. Can we just be?
There you go. There you go. Because it's for profit. The place is for profit.
Which is
all along. It's all for profit.
Which goes back to what I said. What are we trying to do? Trying to be a team that builds from the youth system and sells players, or are we a team that's going to buy players? And it just seems like whenever it comes time to, we can identify players that we need, and we'll sit there and get in the talks with certain teams. Like, for example, the craziest thing about it, I always look at two signings, okay, that we didn't make: the Jack Grealish signing and the Bruno Fernandes signing, because both of them, they literally just like, here's the price, pay the money, and they're yours. Both players are like, okay, we're gonna go. Especially Bruno Fernandes. Nobody else was trying to get Bruno Fernandes at the time. It was just like, pay the money, and you'll have him. And
right.
No,
Fernandes was
I'm not 100% convinced that we wouldn't have brought those players in and ruined them with the culture that we have at this football club. We've made investments and they look bad, but there's nothing saying that some of these players wouldn't have gone to other clubs and had success. Players like Steven Bergwijn, players like Giovanni Lo Celso, right?
On the Lo Celso one, I got to push back a little bit because he had one good season in the Liga. One. And we brought him over.
Yeah. But my point is, there's nothing to say that we wouldn't have brought in Jack Grealish and he would have been ineffective in this culture, right? Where some clubs are a talent factory, we appear to be a factory for ruination, right? Everything we touch turns to shit. So you tell me why a player like Bruno Fernandes would have come here and transformed us. I'm not necessarily buying that. You know, Tanguy Ndombele, there is one of the top 40 most expensive transfers of all time at 65 million euros. Okay? Hasn't worked. Whose fault is that?
I think that they I mean, it's one of the things that annoys me about why I question why he didn't even start is because the whole reason we were freaking wanting to buy him in the first place is because when he was with what was he, Lille? He was with Lille, right? That freaking Champions League game he played against Man City. He bossed Man City. He bossed them in that freaking Champions League game. And they were like, whoa, who is this guy who's literally bossing Man City? That's what he was. That's where everybody was.
Yeah, but see, this is the problem that I have, though, is we jump on these bandwagons way too quick. Tanguy had one good season. Celso had one good season. Who else had one good season? He had one good season in La Liga. One good season.
He was good at PSV as well, I think. And in Real Betis, he was flying, man.
He was flying in Real Betis. He's just been injured. He's just been. The sad thing is we don't have a good reputation.
Yeah, but I haven't been on the Lo Celso bandwagon since he very first got here. Everybody was screaming his praises, and to me, he just never has looked like a quality 10.
I just call him the next.
He was supposed to replace Ericsson, right?
Yeah, I've been looking at him as a 10 because that's the position that they purchased him for. And
Ericsson used to strike the ball from 40 to 30 yards, man.
what I'm saying is, it's not only that, he's not even that good at carrying the ball. His delivery isn't that great either. If you look at his goal contributions, his assists and goals have been fairly low both seasons, even before his injuries.
Yeah, he's just been off the pace, bro. He's just looked off the pace. He's just
100% agree, guys.
He just looks off the. He just doesn't have it, and I kind of disagree with Cody Mack a little bit. They're saying that Bruno Fernandes wouldn't have been anything in Spurs. Just look, the dude has that something.
That may be true.
Mike, I don't want to say that. I don't want to put that on my club and say that we just kill great players. I just don't want to believe that. You know, I just
That's
think
Chelsea's job.
you know, I just think that, you know, we just don't want to pull the trigger. I don't know if it's this. You know, we know
I
that
think we can kill some players. I mean, Kane and Kane and Son haven't been killed.
Yeah, we do. We do destroy.
Now, granted, that could be far worse later on. I mean, they could be far better on other squads.
I just think it comes down to the manager, and just you need to play in the team, in the system in which you're the one dominating the game. When you're forcing the opponents to worry about what you have to offer. I mean, bringing in somebody like Bruno Fernandes or Jack Grealish into a Jose Mourinho back counter is not going to help. But if you have somebody like Pochettino back in like 2019, and even if you bring in somebody like Ndombele, I think Pochettino could do wonders with Ndombele and Lo Celso.
I think he had an idea.
Yeah.
He had an idea.
That was misplaced.
He was just given the sack before he even remember the Lo Celso and the Ndombele. These were for Pochettino. Those were Poch guys.
Yeah.
Especially Ndombele. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like Poch didn't have an idea. You know, it's
Poch
just
told genius to Ndombele, guys.
But anyway, Cody, come back in this. Don't be shy just because, you know.
So guys, what's next for Dele
So
Alli,
John,
guys?
I just
What's
asked
next
Cody a
for Dele Alli?
question. You gotta go with the flow, my man. I don't know if there's just a big delay or what, but so I mean, what are your thoughts, man?
What are my thoughts on what in general, like where we go from here?
Yeah, I mean, because like, did you feel like every player we brought in died like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, or I mean, work us through this a little bit.
Look, there's just such a huge gap in quality when it comes to us versus the 3 or 4 best sides in the Premier League right now. And this is the base of my entire argument when it comes down to whether or not we should be chasing top 4 or chasing domestic cups. The reality is there is no chasing domestic cups anymore without having a side that is top 4 quality. We cannot go into these finals and get completely battered 20 shots to 2 and be expecting to lift a cup. The players are simply not good enough. So if where do we go? If it was up to me, I would be going full nuclear rebuild. I'm talking I would be selling Kane and Son before they begin to decline in value more than they have already. Son, I might think twice just because of the secondary and tertiary revenues that he generates for the club. But we've given it a go with this core group of players. We've given it a go with these players who have been around here for 5 or 6 years, right? It's not working. And not only is it not working, we are not even close. And that was shown today on the pitch.
You're falling off so much, and I agree with you, Cody, because you know, truth be told, we were doomed when we didn't sign players in that transfer window. We were doomed, and that's why we've fallen behind because we didn't refresh. We waited too long to try and refresh the squad. You can't go throughout the transfer window and not sign any players, okay? And have Pochettino out here lying to everybody saying that he's happy with the squad. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You can't. You know
that's Livy's fault, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These are the things.
Remember before we built the stadium, the last year that we left, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't lose at home in White Hart Lane. The feng shui was so good, right?
Well,
and he destroyed it
because one of the things that, and I'll give you an explanation why. And always remember this: when we started making the Champions League, one of the stipulations for being in the Champions League is that you need to have a freaking stadium big enough to host these games. Remember, we played our Champions League.
60,000.
Right, and we had to play our Champions League games at Wembley. So that also. So if you're trying to, I don't know if you're figuring, okay, we want to be in Champions League, we need a bigger stadium. So okay, I get it, we build the stadium, but you can't. You have
the stadium was built for the ESL.
It was. It seems like it was.
Seriously.
I mean, well, now, but here's the thing. It goes back to what Poch said. You have this world-class stadium. Now you need to put the right furniture in. You cannot buy a brilliant mansion and bring the furniture that you had over from your one-bedroom apartment, studio apartment.
I had a great point, but I lost it.
Will, can you bring up that second last comment from Christopher Galley that says that is directed at me regards player quality? No, then have the last one before that. So,
the one that's at you.
Yeah. So, I'm not just talking about the Deadwood. Okay, I'm talking about our best players, right? Our best players have not been good enough on the biggest stage. I'm talking about Harry Kane. I'm talking about Heung-min Son. I'm talking about Hugo Lloris. I'm talking about a full-on rebuild. I'm not calling those guys Deadwood, but the reality is, despite their quality and what they bring to us on the pitch and what they bring to us game in, game out,
I remember
they are a part of the mentality that needs to change. We cannot just keep putting garbage around these guys and expecting our culture to change. They have now become a part of the problem, despite them not being a problem on the pitch, right? I just don't believe that we can win trophies with these players.
I agree. And here's the analogy that I forgot, and then I just remembered. Okay. So, look, me or Eugene, I'm going to mute you because you got an echo, my man. So make sure you mute yourself after you're done talking. For me, I like lawn care. Lawn care is a hobby for me. Ever since my son got into football, having a nice, patch of grass for him to play on and stuff like that has become a priority for me. In lawn care, if you're taking over a new yard that's been neglected for, say, 15 years, right? It's been mowed, it's been, aerated every now and again, but it's never really been watered when it was supposed to. It's never been, herbicide treatments when it's supposed to. When weeds start to take over, right, you can have really nice, healthy grass in certain areas, but when the weeds get so thick in there, that no matter how much mowing and spraying you do, they're just going to come back season after season. It comes to a point where you just have to burn it. You just have to take Roundup and you just have to kill it all and start from scratch, right? And that's the only way that you're going to get, to be able to have a nice, weed-free, yard. And I think that we're at that point now. I think we've come to that point.
But the weed is innate.
No, the weed is more than just innate. Weed is the players and the pitch. Because like what Cody's saying, Kane and Son, we have 5 or 6 good players, right, that I would say we keep. But there's so much dead wood, there's so many weeds up and in around that are choking out the good, healthy grass. And we just need to glyphosate the whole squad and replant with good quality seed.
We've been in 2 finals. I was just saying we've been in 2 finals and we haven't looked close to scoring in either one of them.
Yep. Both have been absolutely horrible.
I think we had 4 finals. We had 0 goals in the last couple of finals.
But in the Champions League final and in this last game, we haven't looked close to scoring. Not even close. We've just been off it. I don't know what it is. It's just like a failure to launch, failure to perform. It's like we forget how to play.
These players just freeze up, man. When it comes to these
it's like stage fright.
Nerves and pressures comes up, man.
Yeah, I just don't. And you would think going into the game, we're not, and in both finals, we weren't favorites. So you would think that, hey, these are free shots. We're not favored to win anything. Go in there and just play your, the pressure was on Liverpool to win. The pressure was on freaking City to win. Why are we?
What? I might shock some people with this comment, but I had no problem with the effort that I saw on the pitch today. because we had to expend so much energy just absorbing Manchester City as a unit. Really, by the time we got the ball into the opposing half, you could see it. There was no support. There was no secondary support. If Son got the ball in the opposing half, he was completely isolated against 3 City players. Same thing with Kane. Honestly, at least I saw a fight from the players. It didn't manifest in quality because that's not what we have on the pitch. But we defended with energy and we hung in there. I mean, that 1-0. Did we deserve anything better than that? No.
I'm gonna tell you right now. This is what's funny to me, and I said this earlier today without looking at the stats, but I just happen to have them up now. So players that were subbed out, you had Lucas Moura was subbed out, Serge Aurier, Højbjerg, and Giovanni Lo Celso. Right. So here's the player ratings of the players that played, and this isn't based. These player ratings aren't based on time. It's based on certain metrics that they meet per minute. Right. That's how SofaScore rates these player rankings. Every substitution, except for Steven Bergwijn because he didn't have enough minutes, was worse than the person they were subbed in for.
Right, but that makes sense. That's why they're on the bench to begin with. I mean, I'm not agreeing with the substitutions, but it only makes sense that you're bringing on players with less quality for the starters. But yeah, I honestly, we could go into the substitute. I'm sure you guys have talked about that already.
No, but I mean,
Moussa Sissoko again. Like, why I can't understand why this guy got on the pitch. The whole argument that I said for keeping one of Lo Celso or Ndombele on the bench was that so you could make the substitution creative for creative and not lose any kind of attacking intent. What were we expecting to do? Why did Moussa Sissoko step foot on the pitch today in a cup final where he's been completely terrible all season? And we know that he brings a complete lack of quality on the ball, right? We were already hemmed into our own end. Why would we bring a player on that's only going to ensure that we continue to be hemmed in? It just doesn't. That did not make any sense to me whatsoever.
And why are we playing in a 4-3-3? Why are we playing in a 4-3-3 against Manchester City?
Only Masons know that.
This is insanity. We've never played a 4-3-3, a flat 4-3-3.
Well, we played a flat 4-3-3 against Villa.
When?
Or sorry, that was a 4-4-2, I guess.
Yeah, it was a 4-4-2. It was actually a 4-2-2-2.
I told you why we're playing 4-4-3. I told you earlier. I said the reason why we're playing 4-4-3 is because we're playing to the opponent's formation. That's all. Not because
they're playing in a 4-2-3-1. They didn't even play 4-3-3.
But that's what the public put down initially. Because when I check on Google and stuff, it says they will be playing 4-4-3, but I guess they must have switched around to something else in between play.
No, but I mean, you could see from the very beginning that Gundogan was playing far deeper than he does. So whenever Kevin De Bruyne and Gundogan both start, it's a 4-2-3-1 with Gundogan in the double pivot. That's the way they always play.
And when they are playing in a diamond. But that's why they don't have a striker. Because when you're playing in diamond, and why do you playing in diamond? You are rotating. They are like spinning diamond in circle. That's what they are. The whole game of Guardiola, which I know Jose knows very well. That's why I said that, because when he was playing with Barcelona, that was the same strategy that he was playing. All he did was tell his players, follow Messi. Wherever Messi goes, don't worry, just keep following Messi. You have a defender running to the midfield to follow Messi, because that's what it does. It just plays a diamond, but the diamond just spins around in circle.
It's all about creating passing diamonds. So it's creating. It's not necessarily creating numbers advantages in specific zones or spaces. It's about creating passing number advantages in individual passing diamonds. So he tries to keep everybody in a 4-3, 4-2, 4-1 type of situation where you always have one man who's in open space unmarked that you can move the ball quickly, boom, 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 boom. And the way they moved the ball, man, was just absolutely
but
almost
that is
musical.
That's the same
today,
thing.
to be
That is
honest.
the same thing. That's this thing that we are all surprised about. They call it quadruple. This is the same game he's been playing over years with Jose. Jose knows this thing because
And
when he
Jose's
plays this
never
ball,
lost to Pep in a final. That's a true strat. Although
yeah, when they
with all the
play,
stats that we busted with Jose this season, as Cody said earlier today, we probably would have lost with Jose too and broken that stat as well.
because what he does is he plays this game and the players move around. They keep moving around the circle, moving around the circle, moving around the circle in a diamond. They keep changing position. You see, no matter what they change the position, they're trying to achieve one game, which you just said, Will. They're trying to have a player that is open. Because when you start moving, when you see a left winger move to a right winger, you're like confused. That's why most people are confused, like, who should I follow? Because they don't know who to follow, because you see a right winger running to the left winger. You see a left winger running to the right winger. You
Yeah.
see the midfielder spinning back and forth. But it's just they are just running around in circle. Because it's just a circle thing. Even though it's a diamond, but it's a diamond going around in a circle. It's just the same thing. This is something that they practice in training over and over and over. I'll keep running around. I'll keep running around in circle. I'll keep running around in circle. You move, I move. You move, I move. You move. You stay in my position. I stay in your position. They move. And when they lose the game, they lose the ball. They all go all together. The whole four runs towards that one person. The whole four runs towards that one person. It's just one single game that everybody hasn't figured out. That's why they don't need a striker, because the striker has to be mobile. They don't want anybody to be mobile. They want everybody to keep moving, running around in the circle.
But it's not like they can't be beat. The thing is, like, for example, and the crazy thing is if you watched them play against Chelsea last week in the FA Cup semifinal, all Chelsea did was press them. Chelsea just pressed them. They just started to press the shit out of them.
They zonally press them.
They zonally press them, right? They press them. That's what I'm saying. This is one of those. Ryan was always out of his depth. You know, I mean, it was just. If we're being honest, we were hoping for a smash and grab. If we're going to be honest, we were literally hoping for a smash and grab. We would have took a smash and grab. I mean, they could have bossed us. They could have bossed us all. And they could, like I said, we made it to the half 0-0, and I'm thinking, you know what, smash and grab, baby. Just get one breakaway, smash and grab, you know. But like I said, that whole Ryan, I think Ryan got caught in two minds, because it was like, if I bring Bale in, I'm trying to smash and grab the game, but at the same time, he was so worried defensively that he felt like, let me throw in Sissoko as well. And that just didn't, because he's never going to find an outlet. He's never going to get that outlet pass. He's never going to cut you open. At least with Tanguy, and say what you want, Tanguy can pick a pass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When we play City in November, okay, the first goal was Tanguy's ball to freaking Son, which was out of this world. I mean, he could pick a pass. So,
yeah, but he's only really done that once. Look,
he's done
I agree with what you're saying, Jason. We tried to go for it without actually going for it, you know. Right. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think that we win that game under any circumstance. I don't think there's anything that we could have done differently that leads us to winning that game.
There were players sitting on the bench who never came on who were far better than the players that were on the pitch.
There you go.
I still don't think that we win. I still don't think that we win the game. Right?
We may not have won, but it would have gone further into the
let's say extra time.
If the back four played the way they played, and you would have had Ndombele on the pitch, Lucas in the 10, and Bale on the right wing, that game would have gone farther than it did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Guardiola was getting nervous as well. Guardiola was getting nervous.
It would have been one. It would have been 1-1. I'm not saying they wouldn't have scored, but I'm saying it would have been 1-1 at the end of the match. Not.
And I have a feeling that we would have scored first. I mean, we had chances to score, I mean,
Yeah, that Hoiberg and Regulum one. You got that one?
Yeah.
Hoiberg and Regulum connected.
I
That was
I
the
had
chance we
chances
would
to
have scored,
score,
man.
but the problem
I mean,
is,
what is Hoiberg doing in the box in the first place?
yeah, but the
I
reason
just
why that
telling
is,
you, my
the
heart
reason
was in
why
my
that
mouth,
Because
man.
we were playing a 4-3-3 instead of 4-2-3-1.
there you go. That's what I'm saying. That Jose would have played 4-4-2, like he played the last time.
I don't
That
know
it will
why
be
Hoiberg didn't
interchanging.
take that
It will
shot.
be see. That's the thing. We all underestimated Jose because of all the Deadwood that are fighting against him. That's why it looks like it's bad. Jose was on top of the Premier League for 5 weeks, guys. 5
Exactly.
weeks.
He's toxic.
This
He's a
We
toxic
didn't like it, but
And
he would
two,
have got you one.
here's a good point I haven't heard talked about all day today. Did you see how the kid gloves that the press used against Ryan today? Would Jose have gotten that same treatment?
No.
Of course not.
Did what?
Of course not.
Of course not.
Yeah.
No, and that's
If Jose loses 1-0 in that same match, the press would have been in his face about those substitutions. Why wasn't Ndombele on the bench? Why wasn't Vinicius in the side?
Yeah.
Why
Exactly.
did you start Harry Winks?
100%
Play?
agree with
Why did you sub Dele Alli? But Ryan Mason gets kid gloves.
But Jose wouldn't play that first team.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying if all situations being exactly the same, Jose Mourinho gets ripped apart.
It would be wrong.
Like a raw steak in a lion's den.
Yeah.
We all know why Jose was sacked.
He said it himself. He said it himself loud and clear. He said, "You guys treat me different." He said it in the stuff. He said, "If it was me that I said I won't give my son food, you guys would have gone crazy." He said it when that guy said, "I won't give my son food." The Manchester United manager, when Ole said, "I won't give son food," he said, "If I was,"
I watched it and I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Did you see
if I
those
was-
He asked him
comparisons?
about something else, not why he wasn't playing.
Did you see these comparisons that were being made to Pep and Mason on Sky? Like how many finals there's been, and like how many games there's been. It's like,
Yeah, that stupid
But-
chart they brought up. Like, what kind of?
how can you explain that? Like, what was the point of that?
I don't know what that was. That was
Just building up the David versus Goliath narrative, just in case we pulled it
Yeah.
off, you know. But Jose, you know what? We can all look at the way that things ended with Jose, and we could admit that the dressing room had gone and that the players had stopped playing for them. And I don't forgive the players for their part in it. But Jose was sacked for money reasons. He was sacked because of our league table position. He was sacked because he has a trophy clause, and he was sacked because he disobeyed a direct order. He refused to train with the team. He made an actual like sackable offense. So it was
because Levy thought he had a big check coming his way, guaranteed.
No, but
Yeah,
I think that between all those three things that we won't end up having to pay
100%.
Jose nearly as much as we would have, because Jose said, "I'm not going to team training," right? Because you are trying to control what I'm doing.
Yeah, it does.
That became Levy's out. He's like, okay, now you don't cost 30 million, you cost 10 million or however much. Now you can go. Ryan Mason, he's just been a sacrificial lamb. He's been a lamb led to the slaughter. You know. Now we can all sit here and debate whether or not a different manager or the same manager would have made an impact. When the reality is, the real problem is the fact that we don't have anywhere near as good a squad. The real problem is that the ownership has led us down this path. The real problem is that we haven't invested properly going back 5 years, and that is what we should be talking about. We should not be talking about Ryan Mason, not one bit, because you make a managerial swap in that game today, and you put Pep in charge of Tottenham and Ryan Mason in charge of Man City, and Man City still beat us, guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you.
I don't know about
you're
that.
Right,
I don't
you're
believe
right
it.
about that, and I'm gonna tell you that because what it comes to, like I said before, and I'm gonna say it again, it all comes to the people on top. Distraction. Don't watch what I'm doing. Watch what they're doing. Don't watch what I'm doing. Watch they're doing. I mean,
But if that's hold on, Awesome. Let me jump back on Cody real quick before we get into too detail. I think that's not true, because otherwise that means that a manager is absolutely useless, and I don't think that's true.
My point is that the manager is useless when you have a squad as bad as ours going up against a squad that is good as Manchester City's.
I agree with that, but I do think that in certain competitions, if a manager is bigger than the opposite, if he's better at tactician than the other manager, he can pull things out. Otherwise, we shouldn't have beat City 2-0 earlier in the season.
Right, but look at where City were at that stage. Look at the teams that they were losing and drawing to at that point, right? They were in the bottom half of the table when we played them. They were
Because
still
the
gelling with
players
their
were
new
against-
players, right?
the
Some
players
of the
were
big
against-
investments that they had brought in, like Ruben Diaz, they hadn't been bedded in yet.
Mm-hmm.
So difficult to compare that result. I mean, if because we had Jose for the second leg against City, right? But
Yeah.
were City the same team that they were in February, that they were in November? Not even close, right?
I mean, yeah, you're right.
I can't remember the scoreline. What was the scoreline of that match?
We lost 3-0 in February.
3-0. We lost 3-0 in February, and
You remember
there were-
Davinson Sanchez
we
taking a
had
fake hit?
we had a host of defensive mistakes in that
Yeah.
game. We had a host of this defensive mistakes. I think Kane hit the post or something. It just
Guys, I'm about to get out, but this is what I'm gonna say before I go. We can sit here, rant about this all day long. In 8 years from now, we're gonna still sit here, still talking about the same thing. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna work. For this to work, you need somebody like Amazon owner to come in and invest in this business and say, we're gonna keep this for the fans and invest in this and buy players. But right now, they're not gonna buy players. It's gonna keep looking for ways to make money, and we're gonna still be at this same spot. Because right now, anything we're doing with my rant here, it's not gonna change. Right now, Levy's gonna look for another distraction way out. Oh, let's get Nick Guzman. Let's get a coach the fan wants, and that person is also a victim because he's gonna be controlling the whole thing. There's no director of football, for Christ's sake, and we're here trying to make a change in our heads and in our thoughts and our speaking to make a change and make us look good, but we are never gonna be good. I look at Son today, he cried because he was thoughtful. He really wanted that club. He really wanted that cup so bad. He wanted that cup so bad. Jose wanted that cup so bad. Kane wanted that cup so bad. Last week, we got two players just laughing like, thank God we got him out. And we lost and we are laughing. Really? So this is not going to change. Regardless of what we do, we sit here, we rant over and over and over. This club doesn't have a motivation to want to do anything forward. They never have, they never will be, because the owners don't want to, period. Regardless of, we want to,
small.
but they
If
don't
we
want
don't rant over and over and over again, I don't have a channel.
I'm saying they don't want to. If the owner don't want to do nothing, if they don't want to pay the employee or give an employee an increase, and you guys are there, and we want an increase, we're not gonna give it to you. Period. We're not gonna give you what you want.
Right, but good or bad, we still got to rant about it because we gotta.
Yeah,
I gotta have a
there
channel.
you go. So I'm gonna take that, guys. Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming
Take care,
on, man.
awesome.
Appreciate it.
All right, take care. Awesome.
All right, let's all go to the closing statements because I'll tell you what, my eyes are getting
Yeah.
heavy and my cheeks are getting red. So
Mhm. I mean, where are all these Saudi billionaires at, man? Like, holy crap, man.
Did you see?
Damn.
I think it was for Arsenal or Liverpool. Spotify put in a bid to buy out the club.
Spotify?
Spotify owner put in a bid wants to buy Arsenal, and Kroenke said no.
Then let him buy Spurs.
Yeah, man, come to us. Like, I remember you guys
We're a better
guys
club.
remember
I guess
that,
he thought Arsenal was cheaper.
No, he's a
Probably, yeah,
Gooner
they're like 10
fan.
cents.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember in the beginning of the year that rich Dubai prince tried to buy Newcastle. I'm like, yeah, why don't you just buy Tottenham? What do you want to buy Newcastle?
Well, the Premier League blocked that because of the country it came from.
It was a Saudi prince, MBS. He had a lot of human rights issues.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. If it was Dubai,
Don't go
they would have
south.
done
Don't
it.
go
It was
Middle East.
Saudi
Middle East has
Arabia.
got a lot of human rights issues.
There's a lot of issues there. I'm just gonna close out by saying I don't know what the rest of the season looks like, how it's gonna look like, what they're gonna do. What's our next game? Our next game is against Sheffield United on Sunday, I think. So, or Saturday or Sunday. I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know what we're gonna look like the rest of the season. I guess we could push for top 4, but you're really banking on Chelsea, who didn't drop points against West Ham, and Liverpool. I don't know. Liverpool's done in my book. Liverpool completely balled it the other day, and we'll see.
They're still within a couple points of us.
Yeah, and we're still there for somehow, as bad as it's been, we're literally 4 points off the top four. Shockingly enough. But we'll see. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. But as far as trophies and what we do, this is going to be a very interesting summer. And boy,
this is a make it or break it summer.
I think it is a make it or break it summer. I think the future of the
Man United drop points too.
Yeah, I think the next 4 years.
It's very telling this summer.
This summer. I think this summer is going to shape the next 3 to 4 years of this club and what this club wants to do, and where in the direction we're going to go. I mean, in my mind, you got to sell one or two. You either got to sell Kane or Son or both if you're going to finance to. If they claim you got to sell to build, and you got to. I think it's a total rebuild that we need. I don't know who we sell, but that's it. I mean,
so right now we're 6 points off Leicester, but they play tomorrow against Palace. If they were to lose to Palace, we'd still be 6 points off Leicester, and they're in third.
And then we play Leicester at the very end. So
we played Leicester the last game of the season.
That should be fun.
Leicester, I think Leicester has a very difficult last 3 games. I think they have Chelsea, then United, us, right?
Yeah, they do. They do have a little. They have a little bit.
And they have the FA Cup final too.
And they have the FA Cup final.
Yeah, but their last 3 Premier League games is very tough. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So they play Crystal Palace. Let's see here.
Okay. I can quickly look it up.
Last though.
So their last. So they play. So their last 3 matches are Manchester United. Their last 3 matches are Manchester United, Chelsea, and then Spurs.
Yeah,
that's the last 3.
Yeah. So I mean, like
that's a potential 6 points loss before they play us. Yeah. So if we can just even keep that 6 point gap, we could end up overtaking them.
Yeah, like if we can somehow keep at least a 3 point gap till the last day, beat them. I think we have a better goal difference, right?
No, like
I don't even know.
Yeah. Even if they lose, so if we keep a 6 point gap and they drop 3 points against United, 3 points against Chelsea, now they're even on points with us.
And Chelsea doesn't have it easy either, because Chelsea has they rather play Man City, Arsenal. Can't believe I'm going to say, come on, you Gooners, beat, and then they got to play Leicester. And then they close out the season against Villa.
But then you have Everton, right? Or am I missing something?
What's that?
Can you imagine?
And they've already drawn once against Fulham, I think, this season.
And I think can you imagine to focus on the Champions League?
Can you imagine that we make Champions League and that
God,
and then we
don't.
and then we don't get investment like next
I
fall?
hope we don't. But the problem is right here is Liverpool.
Welcome to the camp now, where Musa Sissoko takes the pitch for Tottenham Hotspur.
Right. Look, after Liverpool play Man United next week.
Harry Wings.
Right. That's what we have to get. We have to get a clear distance between us and Liverpool. Liverpool have to lose to Man United next weekend, and we have to beat Sheffield United next weekend or this upcoming weekend, because Liverpool have Southampton, West Brom, Burnley, and Crystal Palace.
Oh, but
beat Sheffield.
But let me remind you that we can't disrespect the other team that's up there, which is West Ham, who have a very, very, very easy. They have Burnley, Everton, Brighton, West Brom, and Southampton. That's all, and they play
Everton, Brighton. They could draw against,
and they have no cup games. They have no Europa League. They get the whole week off before they play another game.
And you know they're going to be up for it.
And that's West Ham's.
Yeah, so do we.
So Liverpool, they're out of all the competitions now too, aren't they?
Liverpool,
yeah.
I don't know what's going on with Liverpool, because wow, they were shocking. My God, they were shocking.
Yeah, Liverpool's struggling against the weak teams this year. This year,
they were shocking against Leeds, and they were shocking against Newcastle.
I just want to say, like, for Man City, right? I was shocked that Pep put out his best side. Like, you've got
I did say that, by the way.
you've got a Champions League tie in 2 days, and you're going like full on, blown out, guns blazing for a.
I know, right? I was so
energy
pissed.
cup.
I was salty.
Like, it's like I hope you get smothered by PSG.
I hope. I swear. God.
Well, if you're, for me, if you're Pep, if you're sitting there and you just got knocked out of the FA Cup, you're on the cusp of being knocked out of 2 competitions that you thought you had in the bag, right? They were thinking quadruple this year. So you can't go into a Champions League semifinal coming off a cup loss. I totally agree with him putting out a strong side today. These are well-rested guys. There's been lots of rotation in their squad. They have tons of quality. There's other players that are going to come in against PSG. No problem going in and winning today and putting out a strong side.
Do you think Klopp gets sacked this year?
No.
I think he has too much credit in
Klopp's
the bank.
got 3 more seasons left on his deal?
So did Poch, though. Poch had a lot of credit in his bank. And he
I
got
do
sacked.
see him losing a lot of his players though, like Salah. I think he's going to leave. I don't think he wants to play in the Europa League next year.
You think he'll leave?
Yeah.
Their big is Firmino. Firmino's been absolutely shocking this season. Firmino's been way off.
I can see Salah
Mane's been
going to
shocking
Madrid.
this season.
Yeah, Mane's been bad.
Here's the thing about Mane. His off-the-ball play and his numbers in the box, like XG or shots in the box and all that stuff, have been good. None of them have gone in. He's like had the weirdest bad luck streak as far as being clinical in front of goal is concerned that I think he's had in probably since he played for Southampton.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
I mean, yeah, he's been terrible this year, but he'll be good though. I don't think it's.
But his play has been good. It's just the final product. It's literally just the scoring goals part.
I think for our Spurs players I think if anything, I'm hoping that these players will play their ass off, hoping that they can get onto their international team for the Euros. I hope that's like their only saving freaking only motivation, like for Bale or Kane. It's just to say, we're playing like the Alderweireld and all them. I think Bergwijn's on the Dutch national team as well. I think these guys. I hope my hope is like you guys play your ass off so that you can freaking represent your country here.
So we've got. I agree. By the way, Jason, we've got big echo from somebody. Koguma Nim. She says hello. Today my feelings were very bad, but in order to be cheered up, I came to watch Will's show. Sorry, I don't know if that'll help though. I don't know if this show will help cheer you up. Koguma, which is sweet potato, by the way, for people that don't know. I know I said it before. All right, who's stealing my soundboard stuff? There you go, Cody. I love it.
Mine's fancier. I can put mine in my pocket. You can't take yours,
I can put it in my pocket.
Oh man, we're such a mess. This was just some bizarre cup run, wasn't it? Considering that the final got pushed back 3 months, we've had all this anticipation, but really, we didn't really have to beat anybody to get here.
Yeah, we also skipped the game.
I don't think
against Leighton.
I think it's more notable that we had the easiest run.
It's not like we weren't going to beat Leighton now. Come on, guys. Seriously.
Yeah.
We just stopped with the whole Leighton bye thing. Okay, that's just
even the
silly.
Chelsea game. It was 2 B-sides going at it, right? So
yeah.
It was our side was weaker than Chelsea's side, to be honest with you.
It was.
Yeah, remember we had injuries at that point, didn't we?
No, because I remember that was like our 3rd game of the week because we had the local league knockouts.
I think Gedson played against Chelsea.
Europa League.
Yeah. Gedson played, Chelsea.
They played, yeah. And Dele scored the equalizer.
No, Lamella did.
No, Lamella. Regulon crossed. Yeah, Regulon crossed the ball in.
and then we won on penalties.
Yeah.
Would have been nice to win, but really, it just would have.
Didn't deserve
It just
it.
would have
Didn't
papered
deserve to
over that no longer are they cracks, but they are chasms.
Show respect to my name. Show respect to my name.
God, man.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave this voice on because we've been on 3 hours and almost 30 minutes. So about 30 minutes ago, I said, let's go around and say our final statements. Jason's got his. Why does it sound like I'm like doing my essays? Like, oh, Valley Girl.
I'm turning it off now. Like, I wasn't even trying to do that, but it was just the way that I was speaking was making it like be all Valley Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sushant Rajimi, there we go. I guess he's back. The middle up front. But anyway, anybody got any final thoughts?
Yeah, blow
Cody,
it
go
up.
ahead.
Just blow it up. You know, this squad is broken beyond
Round up
repair.
the whole yard, huh?
No, we have to kickstart the process here. If we're being honest with ourselves, we are 2 steps behind Arsenal right now in this process, and we haven't even acknowledged that the full rebuild has to happen. Not from the actions that the club have taken anyway. You know, we gave it a go. The way that they tried to do it, lack of investment, bring in your trophy manager, didn't work, right? So blow it up. Let's look to the future. Let's create a plan, a 5-year plan. Let's get a manager in here that is suited to the task, and let's make the necessary changes in the hierarchy in terms of scouting and development to put us in a position to succeed moving forward, because we can't keep doing what we've been doing. We've been giving it consistently, you know, now 3-4 years in a row, just shitty investment and terrible football minds making football decisions for Tottenham Hotspur.
end
And
product.
we just can't.
There was no end product.
What did I say? Regme? Is it Regme?
You said Regime.
Oh, sorry.
How do we say it?
I would say Regme if I was looking at it again. Is that correct?
Spell it phonetically for us. But yeah, that would be my final thought. Just blow it up.
Would you take an entire season finishing like 10th, 9th, 12th?
That's the kind of pain that we have to go through. That's the kind of pain that we're going to have to endure. If we really want to put together something special, it's not going to be with any of the names that are on our team sheet today. I'm sorry. We've tried.
Remy. Really? See, I would have never gotten that.
I think for the first movement, Son, Kane, I think it's time. As much as I hate it, but
Wait, which one's right? Is Remy right or is Regme right?
The G is silent, I think.
Okay, it's probably
Sushant Remy.
Sushant Remy, probably.
My final thought is, I think we have to find a way to get all the supporters together and try to buy them out. That's it. Right? I mean, if you say we have enough fans worldwide, easier said than done. But if we have enough fans around the world, maybe each can contribute a bit, buy them out, or start something. We have to start something to start buying them out. Like I said, I don't want any more billionaires to come in and take over, and in the end, it becomes their little plaything, and shit, we're back in square one again.
maybe start like another Tottenham club, like that one club for Man United, FC United of Manchester.
No, Wimbledon FC.
Yeah, my final thought is it's a bit different. Personally, I know a lot of people will not agree with me, but I would still stick with Kane simply because I do not trust his board with that kind of money on their hands. The way they're going to use that money, and they're going to try and stretch it 100 million, get like 6 different signings. So For me personally, I would stick with Son and Kane and just go with, listen, if you can't splash 40, 50, 60 mil on a on some young talented player, just go for like a veteran player and know what you're going to get from that veteran player. So if you're going to go with a defender, if you can't spend 30, 35 million, whatever, on like a Milenkovic, go and get a veteran defender like a Johnny Evans from Leicester, because you know what he's going to give you. That's my approach.
Yeah. See, for me, that's just kicking the can down the road. And by the time we reach the can again, Kane and Son aren't going to be worth what they're worth right now. When I say blow it up, I mean blow up the board too, to be clear. Blow it all up.
I mean, yeah, but there's been teams like, I don't want to turn into a team like Everton where like they blew up everything. They sold all their players and Fellaini and Leighton Baines and all these guys, and then they ending up just splashing money on different players like Iwobi and Sigurdsson. I mean, recently they've been starting to get it right with James Rodriguez and Allen and these boys, but before that they were just splashing money on guys like Keane, Yeremina. I don't want to turn into that kind of club. At this point, if you're not going to spend a lot, which I know Tottenham is not going to do,
We're headed that way anyway, though.
Yeah, I guess.
Kane and Son are going to roll their contracts out. Son's 2 years away from leaving, and Kane's 3. So either do it now and get money for him, so you can actually buy some players to bring in, or you let them run their contracts out, and then you end up getting relegated.
Just get a veteran that will give you 2 good years, which I know that's kicking the can down the road, like what Cody Mack said. But listen, if you get like a solid defenders, that may be up there in age, like a Thiago Silva.
Yeah, but they're not going to buy anybody. Levy, if he has to pay that £150 million to the ESL, and he's not getting any money from any type of European football this year, we might as well just.
Okay, if we do have to pay that 150, then forget it. Might as well just stop.
We could still get European football as in Conference League. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the TV rights for that are. I'm telling you, it's probably not 150 million pounds or euros, rather.
Yeah.
But anyway, fellas, I'm headed off. I've been up since like 7 a.m. this morning.
All right, man.
Been streaming
Thanks,
since like.
All right. Cheers, everybody. Take
What
care.
was that first stream,
Take care, everyone.
What time was that? I don't even remember.
10 a.m.
Friday 12. Oh, sorry, Friday. Your what? The other show.
2 p.m. Eastern. Cody, did you hear about that?
Okay.
So on Friday at 2, I'm doing when everyone's supposed to be in blackout for racism, I'm actually going to do a stream on it, on racism and xenophobia. Instead of blacking it out and protesting it, I'd rather talk about it and let people discuss the topic. And let people of color come on and have their say on experiences that they have had, or I guess you could say, or offenses that they felt due to football or football fans. I think that brings more good to the cause than not posting on social media for a couple of days.
Yeah. Just so happens that a social media blackout falls in line with what the Big Six want to do, which is stop the narrative about what they just tried to pull with this Super League, right? But, yep, I think that's a great idea, Will. Absolutely.
Yeah, so everybody will be invited to that as well, and we'll put the thing up. And then she said, "Good work today, Will." She said she'll rewatch today's show. Thank you very much. And for all of our Korean fans, 구독해줘서 고맙고, 이 동영상은 라이크하고, 만약에 구독하지 않았으면은 구독해 주십시오. 감사합니다. And she said, also for the panel, for people in the panel, you guys have also done a very good job tonight, and thank you very much. Yeah, Korea,
Thank you.
can do that. This one. Right. The new Korean one is this. So you can say
heart symbol.
Yep. That's the new one.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Thank you guys for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Will. See you on Friday, Will.
Yep.
Take
See
care.
everybody on Friday. We'll also too this week. Cody, when do you want to do the Bald and Bearded Boys show?
Oh, you're bald. Yeah.
We'll chat.
All right, sounds good. But guys, stay on look for that. We will be having a Bald and Bearded Tottenham Boys show sometime this week.
Either tomorrow or Tuesday if we want to like spread out the content. If you're going to do one on Friday,
I think Tuesday would be good.
Let's say right now Tuesday.
Can I prefer bald and beard and dread? So.
You don't have a beard either, do you, there, Jason? I can't see. A little bit. Okay. Gotcha. Definitely not bald. Right. Definitely not bald.
Long way from that now. I've grown it out since I retired.
Mike Pepper says, just woke up. Can you please start again? No, but you can rewind and watch from the beginning. To be honest with you, tonight's show, the first 2 hours is probably the best part. No offense to the people that were in the last hour and a half, but that was probably the most fun. There was a good amount of laughter and jollies back in the first 2 hours, as well as the bigot. But that's another thing. If you didn't catch that, somebody can't. I mean, you just check the Spurs family Twitter mail, and you'll see what the bigot was about. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna kick you guys all out so I can do my outro. Goodbye. We'll see you next time.
Okay.
Remove.
See you Friday.
See you on Friday. If you can leave before I kick you out, that's fine, but I'm kicking you out. All right. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe. It helps the channel out. I appreciate it. Today was a disappointment. We know that. 아주 실망했습니다. 아주. 어차피 anyway, stay strong. 힘내고. Stay Spurs. Spurs는. I haven't translated that yet. I don't know how to translate that. Help me out, Korean friends. Stay Spurs. Spurs는 계속 서포트 해주십시오. Good night.
1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go now.